Welcome back to EVSC's historic Bossy Field as we're just about to get set here for Game 3 of a three-game series, the rubber match between the Washington Wild Things and the Evansville Otters. Well, after a big loss on Tuesday, the Otters came back with an 8-4 victory, scoring 2 runs in 4 separate innings, the 3rd, the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th, in order to pull off the victory in Game 2, tying the series up at 1 game apiece, and looking to take the series tonight. Both teams looking to take the series here after Washington had a very good offensive performance in Game 1. Kind of staggered a little bit as Landon Williman ended up throwing his second quality start of the season. Ended up getting the victory there against Washington. It will take you inside the broadcast booth. Hi, everybody. My name is Evan Patoka, and well, you might have seen it, but let me show you a little bit of a better view of what we're looking at here in terms of the jerseys they're wearing. It's this right here on the front, and then we're going to do a little spin. We're going to get right here on the back. I'm wearing the number 39. These jerseys are going to be auctioned off here. It's going to end at around 8:30, so if you want a game-worn jersey, I guess this technically isn't game-worn, but it's been worn by me. I don't know if you want to bid on that or not, but either way, I'm wearing the number 39. The guys on the field, they're wearing their specific numbers. So auction on the jerseys here. We're celebrating the 4th of July here on July 2nd because on the 4th, we're going to be in Joliet. So this is the last day we have a game at home before the 4th of July. And the Otters are trying to get another home series victory, trying to move to 19-7 at home and come within a game of the division if they beat Washington. If they lose, they're 3 games back. But we will head to Joliet and then Gateway, and it's a 6-game roadie before we hit the last series before the All-Star break against the Sussex County Miners. The All-Star break is coming here soon. It's in a couple weeks. So should be a fun time. Hopefully we get a good few Otters in the All-Star game. The Y'all-Star game. Forgot to mention, put the Y at the start there. It is in Florence, which is why it is called the All-Star game. They've been prepping. They've been doing their stuff. There's going to be a home run derby. There's going to be a All-Star game. There's going to be a bunch of stuff in between. So it should be a fun little week in Florence. It also hopefully isn't as hot as it is today, because for the 3rd straight day, it is very hot outside. Guys behind me are Landon Williman and who else did I put? I forgot. Dennis Pierce. Dennis Pierce. He hit a 2-run homer yesterday. It was his 9th of the year. I put those up at around 10 a.m. this morning, so I completely forgot who I put up there. Williman got the win. Quality start, we mentioned that already, but Dennis Pierce hit a 2-run homer. DJ Salvaggio drove in 2 of his own, and then single RBIs from Amani Jones, Logan Brown, LG Castillo, and Mark Black, as the Otters ended up scoring 8 runs. They have 18 now this series. It was pretty understated in the first game, but the Otters still managed to score 10 runs in that game. And the offense has been very good here at home to start off. It was just that they gave up 23 runs. Kind of got to see the offense shine a little bit more, take a little bit more of the spotlight in Game 2, just because, well, Washington put up a regular old 4 runs. Washington, after this series, they're in the start of a 9-game road trip. They're heading to Schaumburg after this, and then to Florence before they go back home for the last series before the All-Star break for them against the Lake Erie Crushers. That's how their first half will end. We're in game 46 out of 102. So that means game 51 is going to be the actual halfway point in the season, barring any sort of rain or postponements in any sort of way. It should be that last game against Gateway, in which we will have game number 51. That's on July the 9th. That's when we will officially hit the halfway point. The Otters won yesterday. They start 1-0 in July after a 14-10 June. They had a 3-21 July last season. It was a very rough July, and already got 1/3 of that win total from last year. They started off that month on a 12-game losing streak, which was one short of a franchise record 13, which happened in 2009. Now they are 1-0 in the big July, and sun not mattering here. I already saw what the jerseys are being worn for the Otters here for 4th of July. On the other side, it's again the red jerseys for Washington, as they're just continue on wearing those red jerseys. We'll take a look here at the pitching matchup. Ben Petschke was on the IL, the 7-day IL, got taken off, activated today. Just missed one start, and he's back and ready to go here on July 2nd. On the other side for Washington, it is Britt Costura, who is making his 4th appearance as a professional here. Costura, 6.75 ERA, 5 1/3. Got his first professional start on the 27th against Joliet, and only gave up 2 earned runs, but his first 2 appearances were in the bullpen. Costura, one of the new signings for Washington after Maddox Long and Zach Kirby both got their contracts purchased by the Tigers and Angels respectively. So they needed a few more guys. Their pitching's been so good. That's the issue with Washington having such a good pitching staff, is that they're going to get called up. They're going to get their contracts purchased, and then you got to find new guys, which hasn't happened to Kobe Foster, but it has done a lot to their pitching staff, so getting a few rookies. So we'll hand you over to our PA announcer, Zane Clodfelter, as we hit the anthem, and we'll take a quick break on the Otters Digital Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing after the national anthem. Whether a retired veteran Memorial Club of Edinburgh County will perform a salute to all the Reese's United States. Oh, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we came after twilight ladies and gentlemen. We ask that you remain standing until the colors have left the playing surface. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And again, a big round of applause for the VFW Post 1114 color guard and Jerry Schachter for singing our national anthem.
Celebrating a lot here for America's 250th birthday coming up in a couple days as we are ready to go here for game 3 of 3 between the Wild Things and the Otters. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. Firstly, for the visiting Washington Wild Things, it's Ben Rosengard. He's at first today. Connor Peak getting his first start of the series. He's batting second at shortstop. Antonio Monroy is batting third with Andrew Check, Anthony Brocato behind him. Jeff LeCory moving down to the 6th spot. Cole Fowler, Kyle Edwards, and Isaiah Skiros, the bottom 3. On the other side, Sam Linscott for the Otters, leading off yet again as Ponder misses his second game. Monty Jones, Dennis Pierce, Logan Brown round out the top 4. Dennis Pierce, Logan Brown switching positions with Pierce the DH, Logan Brown at first. Marcos Gonzalez at third behind him. LG Castillo in left field batting 6th. And Blake Robertson, Mark Black, and TJ Salvaggio, the bottom 3. Pretty much the same lineup as yesterday. Let's take a look at the defense for the Otters, as it is Castillo, Linscott, Robertson, left to right. Third to first, Marcos Gonzalez, TJ Salvaggio, Monty Jones, and Logan Brown, with Mark Black doing the catching yet again here in Game 3, as he did in Game 2. For the starter, Ben Petchke. Petchke is at a 5.93 ERA in 41 innings. Missed a start, so his last start was on the 21st against Mississippi. Ended up giving up 6 hits in 3 2/3, 7 runs, 5 earned, 3 walks, 2 homers, and a loss against the Mud Monsters. That was the first of that 4-game home losing streak before they ended up snapping that one yesterday with an 8-4 victory. He's given up 46 hits, 27 earned runs. The walks have been a bit of an issue for him, though. He's got more walks than strikeouts, 25 compared to 23, as he'll face off against the Wild Things for the first time this season. Williman and Petchke both were the 2 guys that ended up skipping the Wild Things and pitching against Florence twice. Just talked about that with Williman in yesterday's game. First pitch to Rosengard is called a strike. "91 degrees here at first pitch." It was 95 earlier, so it's already getting a little cooler, but still, it is warm, man. It is warm. It is warm. So hopefully everybody's staying hydrated here at the ballpark. Hopefully everyone, even at home, is staying hydrated. You know, it's always good to drink some water. That one's fouled away. It's 1-2. And we already got our first Heads Construction read of the day. It only took 3 pitches. 1-2 from Petchke. Another one fouled over to the netting. Rosengard now in his 5th game of the season. He's currently in this series 1 for 10. That game, though, in the 23-10 loss, he drove in 4 runs, which were his first 4 RBIs of the season. Got him! Froze him on the breaking ball as Petchke gets Rosengard for out number 1, his first K of the day.
So we are going to say congratulations to sections 18 and 19. They're going home with the Hoosier Lottery prize. Play ball with the Hoosier Lottery. Please play responsibly. Batting second and shortstop.
Connor Peak has came in as a defensive replacement and as a pinch hitter so far in this series. This is his first start. He's gone 0 for 1 in this series. Getting the start here. 29th game of the year. Little away, it's 1-1. Last start was on the 27th against Joliet. 1 for 2. Scored twice, walked. Called strike 2. Breaking ball already locating pretty well for Petchke to start off. Short sample size, of course. 2 batters, but still. Grounder is going to be bobbled by Petchke. He'll recover easily. Throw to first for out number 2. First 2 down here in the top of the first inning. That one got in and out of the glove of Petchke, but he easily able to recover there. That'll bring up Antonio Monroy. Monroy's having a fantastic series. He is 7 for 11, and all 7 of those hits have been singles. 4 for 6 on Tuesday, 3 for 5 yesterday. 7 singles. Ripped down the line over to the bullpen. Ooh, that hit somebody over there. Who is that? Is that Colt Anderson? Yeah, that hit Colt Anderson in the bullpen. And he seems to be okay. 0-2, though, quickly here against Monroy. There's the bullpen. 0-2. Fastball 94. Wow. Petchke doesn't usually throw that fast. There's a slow roller over to first. Logan Brown will tag Monroy for out number 3. So the first time this series in which Washington doesn't score in the first, and it's a 1-2-3 first for Ben Petchke to start off the day. We'll head to the bottom of the first, no score on the Otters Digital Network.
Sounds like we have a piece of the EVSC's historic Bossy Field tonight. Evan has his solo Chironi's pizza, but it's not his. Make some noise if you want it to be yours. Oh, he's still going. Oh, there we go. Looks like he's found a lucky fan. Congratulations and enjoy that pizza from our friends at Chironi's. Catch your battery for the visiting Washington Wild Things. Greg Pastora is on the mound. Isaiah Euros. Behind the plate, catch your batteries powered by the Enter Auto Repair East Furniture Battery to the Enter Auto Repair East. 2319 North Main Road, 812-475-9000. Tell them St. for the Otters sent you. Special shout out to the fan wearing the Chili's hat here this evening. My favorite restaurant. One of my favorite hats now that I've seen it.
First inning brought to you by the Mesker Park Zoo and Botanical Gardens. Visit the Mesker Park Zoo at 1545 Mesker Park Drive in Evansville, Indiana. 1-2-3, top of the first for Ben Petchke. Let's take a look at the defense for Washington. It is Brocato in left with Kyle Edwards in center. In right field, Jeff LaCour. Third to first, Cole Fowler, Connor Peak, Antonio Monroy, and Benjamin Rosengard. With Isaiah Quiroz doing the catching for the starter for Washington, Britt Costura.
The
Edward Jones leadoff batter is Sam Linscott for the second straight game. John Ponder is out for the second straight game. And Linscott will take his place yet again. Leadoff spot here. Yesterday in the leadoff spot, he went 2 for 5. Has a hit in his last 5 games. Joe's bunt pulls it back. It's going to hit the lower half of the zone for strike 1. Last 5 games for Linscott, hitting 8 for 20. Homer, 4 RBIs. That was the grand slam he hit on Tuesday. Also has 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, as that one's outside for ball 1. Linscott now hitting .349. That one's fouled back to the netting, and it's 1-2. Scott leading off here. Usually is batting in around the 5-6 hole in the lineup if Ponder's playing, but this is only his 5th time leading off this season. Foul tip into the glove, but it's going to pop out of Quiroz' glove, and it's another foul tip. Another 1-2 coming from Costura. Long at bat here already to start off the outing for Britt, as he's thrown a good amount of pitches here already through not even one batter. Another 1-2 and another foul ball. This is what Sam Linscott does, though. He is very much known to stay alive, keep himself in at-bats, sort of like what Washington does. A lot of Washington hitters do this. Same old thing as well. Linscott walks at a 12.5% rate. Strikeout is at a 14.8%. There's a fly ball into right field. Jeff LeCory didn't have to move too much, and he'll make the catch for out number 1. Monty Jones. Now, on the complete opposite spectrum of Linscott's 5th time leading off, this is the 43rd time that Amani Jones has batted second. And this is his 44th game. The only other time where he was not hitting second was one game in which he hit in the leadoff spot for Ponder on his day off. First pitch missed for a ball. Now the 1-0 from Costura. Fouled away. Monty Jones is having a fantastic last 5 games. He's hitting 11 for 25, so almost at a 500 clip. A homer, 2 doubles, 5 ribbies, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. Includes 4 straight multi-hit games. And overall a hit in all of his last 5, as that one is going to be a little inside for ball 2. Costura right in the sun there, third base side of the rubber. Kicks and deals the 2-1. There's a ground ball. Diving stop it short by Peak, but he has no play as Amani Jones will reach on the infield single, and now he has a hit in 6 straight games. This one ended up getting past the dive of Fowler at third, and ended up making the diving stop there as Peak, but he was already in shallow left field, had no chance at it. Runner on first, 1 out in the bottom of the first inning. Dennis Pierce already has a 2-run homer in this series. That was yesterday. That was his only hit, though. He ended up finishing 1 for 3. Walked twice, struck out twice, drove in 2 runs. A lot of 2s in the stat line yesterday. Last 5, he's hitting 4 for 19, though. That homer being his only extra base hit, though. He drove in 3, walked 7 times, and struck out 3. Already quickly down 0-2 here, though, against Costura. Otters 11-5 against left-handed starters. 0-2 is called strike 3 as Pierce will go down looking on 3 pitches. And Costura has his first strikeout of the day. Logan Brown up to the dish. This series he's 6 for 10, hitting 600. All of those hits have been singles. Ended up having a 4 for 5 day on Tuesday. Even with the 23-10 loss, went 2 for 5 yesterday, drove in a run in both games. Nearing hit number 500 of his professional career. It's currently at 494. Now, we're not expecting too much of a good game where he gets 6 hits, but wouldn't complain if it happened today. Just saying, we haven't had many 6-hit games this season in the entire league, let alone for the Otters. Runner goes, throw to second base is not in time, and taking second is Amani Jones. Amani Jones' his second stolen base of the year. He's now 2 for 5, and he moves into scoring position with 2 outs, which was called a strike, and it's now 1-2, though, against Logan Brown. So Costura 1 pitch away from getting out of things, but single could score Jones from second. That one's a little outside. It's 2-2. Logan Brown now hitting at a .362. Game number 37. He missed all the Florence series. 2-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3. 2 Ks back-to-back for Costura. One looking, one swinging. As the runner on second gets stranded there, we'll head to the top of the second inning. No score on the Otters Digital Network.
Oh no, Otters fans, we've got to skate the animals from Mescal Park Zoo in Botanic Gardens on the field. Good thing we have Rona Lists here to wrangle them up. Let's see, our squirrel today, Isaac, the otter is Chloe, our squirrel, call him Riker, and the zebra is Kenzie. We're gonna run around and gather these, or wrangle these animals up. Whoever gets the most wins some tickets to the zoo. Wranglers, are you ready? Set, go! Just a few more to go. All right, I think we've almost got them all. They're falling out. All right, we're gonna do a quick count. We'll be right back.
Hey, Evansville! You got Evansville Otters 8-2 leading months. Evansville Park Zoo. Splashy, twinning, putting food in your buddy with Sally G. Come see us 365 days a year from 9 till 4 p.m. Evansville Park Zoo.
Plan your next trip. Our winner is the squirrel.
Plan your next trip with Timmy's Tours. We provide safe, comfortable, affordable buses for your whole group. Book a charter today by calling 800-682-8214 or visiting timmystours.com. Tonight's Thirsty Thursdays made possible by our friends at Working Distributors. Be sure to take advantage of our Thirsty Thursday specials, plus enjoy $1.50 22-ounce Budweiser drafts all night long.
Second inning here in Evansville. No score between the Otts and the Wild Things. Frontier League Network, powered by HCN, is the exclusive home of every Frontier League game this year. Head to EvansvilleOtters.com to sign up today and get a front row seat to every Otters game this year. Shout out to everybody watching here on HTN, as well as everybody listening on YouTube. It is a warm Thursday night. Andrew Czech leading off here as he taps a slow roller back to the mound. Throw to first from Petchke is in time for out number 1. First man gone. Trying to get the Bash brothers out here. It's always a scary sight seeing them up. They've now combined for 203 career home runs in the Frontier League, so it's always going to be a little bit dangerous seeing them up. Especially Brocato. Brocato has 4 homers now against the Otters this season. 4 of his 15, which lead the Frontier League. Ended up going 0 for 2, though, before getting pinch hit for by Jeff Sabater. Little high. It's 2-0. Another curveball, and that'll miss. It's 3-0. Brocato on Tuesday had that 4 for 6 game. He doubled homer, drove in 4 runs, and that was after a 2-homer game against Joliet on Sunday. Right down the middle, and that's strike 1. That 4 for 6 was his second 4-hit game of the season. His first was on June 10th against Windy City. Hit 3 homers in that game. Swing and a miss. It's 3-2. Brocado's 3-homer game back on June 10th was the first time a Wild Thing has ever hit 3 homers in a game, which is interesting because Czech and Brocado have been on the Wild Things for a while, so you'd think one of them had to have hit 3 homers by now. Off the end of the bat, foul. Still remains at a full count, 3-2. Payoff is into center field. Linscott will make the catch for out number 2. Great catch out there in center field by Sam Linscott on a line. It's a little bit of a late read there from Linscott, but he was able to make the catch there. A little bit of a roll there as well, but either way, it's out number 2, and that'll bring up Jeff LaCorey. Well, it's very nice having 2 guys that can play very good defense in center field, because if one is out of a couple games for a certain reason, then the other guy can easily just get plugged in there and play some good defense in center. That's exactly what the Otters got Linscott for. Be an everyday guy, take over center if need be. Mostly he's been in right field, though. He's been able to make a good impact over there as well. 2-1 here to LaCorey. Hitting at a .310 now in game number 31. Grounder up the middle. That's going to get into center field for a base hit. First base runner and first hit of the day for Washington, as Jeff LaCorey continues to hit Otters pitching very well in this series and in this season. Now has a hit in all 6 games he's played against the Otters this year. That includes his 3 for 5 with 6 RBIs on Tuesday, 2 for 3, 2 doubles, 2 RBIs yesterday. Cole Fowler up for his first appearance of the day. Big swing and a miss for strike 1. Fowler's last 5 games, he went 7 for 18, 2 homers, 10 RBIs, which 5 of those were on Tuesday against the Otters. 3 for 4, 4 runs, a homer, 5 ribbies. Homered in back-to-back games on Sunday and Tuesday, just like Brocado. Fouled back to the netting. It's quickly 0-2 here against Fowler. Petschke trying to throw another scoreless frame here in the second. Both teams now with a hit. No runs, no errors. Corey on first, 2 outs. So 2 here from Petschke. A little bit inside fastball. Time at 93. Petschke still in the eyes of the blazing sun here, at least when he fully stands up. Next inning, he'll definitely have a better view. 1-2. Got him swinging. Second K for Petschke. Single doesn't go anywhere as he throws a scoreless second inning. No score as we head to the bottom half of the second inning on the Otters Digital Network.
This song was requested especially by Donna. So thank you, Donna, for the request. Your wish is our command. Excited to see who gets to upgrade to the Ashley Furniture Home Store Best Seats in the House. Our lucky winner gets to spend the rest of the game. The best seats in the house. We have a lot of possibilities. We're going to roll with Hannah Schmidt. Hannah Schmidt, congratulations. You're the lucky winner of the Ashley Furniture Home Store Best Seats in the House. Come on down and enjoy the view for the rest of the game with your feet kicked up. Hannah Schmidt, our winner of the Ashley Furniture Home Store Best Seats in the House. And the best seats in the house also means you have the best view of the Heritage Video Board and Otter Vision. Follow along with all of our video board action and be sure to visit heritagefederal.org for all your
The second inning is brought to you by J.E. Shekel Armor Protection. Founded in 1978, J.E. Shekel is the Tri-State's premier residential, commercial, industrial service and construction company. There's Britt Costura in for his second inning of work. He stands at only 5'8", 22 years old, from Tequesta, Florida. Tequesta on the eastern side of Florida, on a little string of beaches. It's a little bit north of West Palm Beach, Florida. And he'll face off here against Marcos Gonzalez, LG Castillo, and Blake Robertson to lead off the second. First pitch is called a strike. It's 0-1. Marcos went 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts yesterday. Is struggling a little bit in this series against Washington. Overall, 9 for 21 in his last 5. Last 5 games still includes that 4 for 5 he had on Sunday against Florence. Hit a homer, drove in 5 runs. Overall in his last 5, 2 homers, 2 doubles, 7 RBIs. Still hitting at a .321, so definitely still playing very well, but, you know, sometimes you have some bad series against, I guess, what is the best pitching staff in the league. They have a 4 ERA, which is first in the league. It was .365 before this series, so the Otters at least have done some damage against a good pitching staff. Managed to win game 2. 1-2 to Gonzalez is inside, almost hits him. Evens the count up at 2 apiece. Monty Jones hit a single in the first inning, stole second base, but back-to-back Ks from Costura ended up getting him out of the frame there. 2-2. Grounder up the middle, and under the glove of Connor Peak into center field for a base hit. It looked like Peak was going to reach over and grab that one. Definitely had it within his grasp, but just scoots on past him under his glove, and Marcos Gonzalez leads off the second with a single. 1 for 1 on stolen bases as he's over at first. Doesn't steal too much, but LG Castillo now up with a man on first and nobody out. First pitch is called a strike. Costura doesn't really pitch fast. 86 fastball we've seen so far. Most of the breaking stuff that he has relied on. I feel like we see a lot of those smaller lefties that can just really maneuver the ball well. Maybe have a little bit of a funky windup. See a lot of those types of guys. Not necessarily throwing fast, but has good precision. It's kind of like a less extreme Tyler Rogers. Because Tyler Rogers really goes down there and throws basically from the floor. 1-1 to LG. That one inside as well. Castillo coming off a 1 for 4 day yesterday. Didn't play on Tuesday. But on Sunday, he hit a 3-run homer, which was his 600th career hit. Swing and a miss, and it's 2-2. Last 5 games for Castillo, he has gone 5 for 22. Does have a homer and 4 ribbies, though. Now up to 3 homers, 23 RBIs on the year. As LG will call his hitter's timeout, Blake Robertson on deck. See the Otters wearing the 4th of July specialty jerseys. As mentioned previously, they're going to be auctioned off. Popped up foul. Overhead foul ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best, never regret it. Still 2-2 here to Castillo. 13 multi-hit games for LG. All 3 of his home runs have been 3-run shots. Talked about how kind of interesting and weird that pattern is. A little in the dirt, and it's a full count. Costura has the benefit of starting the second inning with the shade on him. Pechke still had the sun in his face. He was still able to perform well. Might even be better now without the sun in his face. Mostly it is the middle infield and the center fielder Edwards, right fielder LaCorey now trying to fight the sun here. It's only going to get cooler, which is a good thing. Payoff to Castillo. Another one fouled off. Costura, 30 pitches here through an inning. Had a long at-bat against Lynn Scott. Another one here against Castillo. Has given up 2 hits. Another payoff. Looking back to first. Another look back. Kicks and deals. There's a fly ball into right field. LaCorey, couple steps to his left, and he'll make the catch for out number 1. Blake Robertson up for his first at-bat of the day.
Number 31, Blake Robertson.
This lineup for Andy McCauley is the exact same positioning-wise as yesterday. Position-wise, it is just the switch of Pierce and Brown at first in DH that were the only change. It was the only change of the day from yesterday's lineup. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, and they're not fixing a thing. They're keeping it how it is. Just keeping Dennis Pierce as a hitter, switching him with Logan Brown over at first base. Logan Brown has not done catching for now 5 games. It's been Will Banks and Mark Black. Throw back to first is not in time. Costura has been really eyeing down Gonzalez over at first base, which is interesting because he doesn't run pretty much at all. It's covered over there at first by Rosengard, who is taking over for Andrew Czech, who's been at first the last couple days. There he goes. Throw on to second base. Not in time. 2 for 2 for Gonzalez. That was called a strike. It's now 0-2 against Robertson as Marcos heads into scoring position with 1 out. Now, the Otters have been running a lot in this series against Quiros and Helms. They stole 3 bases yesterday, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a lot considering the Otters are not necessarily in the top realm of stolen base teams. That one's popped a foul. Get out of play. Otters have 49 stolen bases, tied for 15th in the Frontier League out of 18 teams, so they don't run often. But the 3 they stole yesterday is the most, tied for the most in a game this year. They already have 2 through an inning and a third. That's into the gap in left center field. It's going to get all the way to the wall. Marcos Gonzalez can jog home as Blake Robertson an opposite field double. The Otters strike first in the second inning.
That's a double.
That's exactly what you want to do, lefty-lefty. Take it the other way into the left center field gap. Brings in that run from second, and the Otters strike first for the first time this series. When the Otters score first, they're 19-7. Pretty good. Pretty good statistical-wise. Fouled away by Mark Black. Up for his first plate appearance of the day. He's 3 for 19 in his last 5 games, hitting at a .221, but had a 2 for 4 night last night against Washington with a double and a run driven in. The 0-1. Swung on and missed. It's 0-2. Mark Black getting a lot more playing time here with Logan Brown no longer doing the catching for at least the past week, is, I guess, technically now the backup catcher behind Will Banks. Blake Robertson on second. Still only one out. 0-2. That's popped up into foul ground in right field. No one's going to get there as it hits the bullpen of the Otters. As LaCory and Rosengard were both trying to get it there, and they're joking around a little bit in right field. I think the hat came off for LaCory when he was trying to grab that one.
Big round of applause for the Hottie Shriners who are here for the 12th straight year, having their Shriners outing here at the ballpark.
TJ Salvaggio, the last member of the Otters that has yet to get his first at-bat, usually in the bottom of the lineup there. Otters score first. 0-2. A little high.
Finally, on the Hottie Shriners, a tip of the cap to them as a downtown resident. A great Shriners fest they had downtown.
Mark Black was originally committed to St. John's out of high school. Most likely would have had his name called in the 2020 MLB draft if it wasn't shortened because of COVID to 5 rounds. If he would have signed, overall played at 4 schools, though, in his collegiate career.
That overhead foul ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best. Never regret it.
Chipola, 2021 season. Transferred to Wake Forest. Gardner Webb for 2 years, then Seton Hill. Not Seton Hall, Seton Hill. One, two. There's a ground ball over to short. Connor Peak will lob it over to first for out number 2. 6-3 ground out for those of you scoring at home. TJ Salvaggio will try to bring in that second run with 2 outs now.
Number 19, TJ Salvaggio.
Salvaggio has a hit in his last 6 games and a hit in 11 of his last 12. He's hitting the ball very well from the bottom of the lineup, now hitting .288. Upped his average by 4 points in this series after a 2-for-3 game yesterday. Hit a double, drove in 2 runs. Salvaggio 8 homers. See if he can try and tie Dennis Pierce here. They're in a little bit of a battle now in terms of the home run department. One 0. A little low, good take from TJ, and it's ball 2. Pierce has 9, hit 1 yesterday. Salvaggio has 8. Only 2 of them have been here at home. 6 on the road, 2 only against lefties as well. 2-0 is a fly ball into right field, going back just a tad is LaCory, and he will make the catch for out number 3. Well, Blake Robertson opens the scoring here for the Otters. His RBI double puts the Otters on top 1-0, heading to the 3rd on the Otters Digital Network.
We got Cameron, he's the shorter one. We got Samuel, he's the taller one. They're going to spin around that bat 10 times, run to the outer middle on the other side. First one that touches her hand will be your winner. Gentlemen, are you ready? Set, go! Oh, it's pretty even. Cheer them on, everybody. This can be close. Oh, it wasn't close. Closer to the ground. That's right. Cameron's your winner. DBAT is Evansville's premier locally owned indoor baseball and softball training facility. Experience top-notch batting cages, automated pitching machines for baseball, fast pitch, and slow pitch softball. Personalized lessons, exciting games and clinics, unforgettable birthday parties, and a pro shop filled with everything you need, powered by Rawlings. DBAT is located on O'Hara Drive near the airport. Visit them 7 days a week for all your baseball and softball needs.
Fans, a reminder that the big jerseys being worn by the Otters tonight are currently up for auction online through Dash. The auction will close at 8:30, so you have about an hour and 14 minutes. So get those bids in before before time runs out. For more information on how to bid, see one of our staff members or visit the Evansville Otters Facebook page. Good luck on your bids. Leading off, batting eighth in center field for Kyle Edwards.
Top of the third inning as Kyle Edwards, Isaiah Quiroz, and the top of the lineup again in Ben Rosengard will lead off in the third against Ben Petchke, who's thrown 2 scoreless. Otters have a 1-0 lead in the top of the third inning. Scored 1 in the bottom half of the second after the RBI double from Blake Robertson. That brought in Marcos Gonzalez from second. First pitch called a strike to Edwards. And the second pitch is a foul tip into the glove, so he's quickly down 0-2 in the count. Edwards 1 for 4 yesterday, 2 for 5 on Tuesday. Pitched an inning because Washington was up by so many runs. Didn't want to waste the bullpen arms. That one's in the dirt. 1-2 here to Edwards. That was Edwards' first pitching appearance of the season. 1-2. Fastball a little high. Edwards hitting at a .212 now in 43 games. Last 5 for him, he's 6 for 18. Has hit in 1 in every 3 at-bats. That one's fouled away. Hit a triple. Drove in 4, walked twice, struck out 4 times in his last 5 as well. Another 2-2 here from Petchke. Swung on and missed for strike 3. Back-to-back Ks for Petchke. 1 to end the second, 1 to start the third, and that's out number 1. Bottom of the order, Isaiah Quiroz will stand in for his first at-bat. Ended up getting the day off yesterday. Connor Helms was doing the catching. Ended up getting hit in the head with a pitch in game 1, but stayed in the game. Ended up coming around to score after that as well. It's been a very interesting series for Quiroz. Swing and a miss, it's 1-1. Quiroz 1 for 13 in his last 5 games. That one hit came against Joliet on the 27th. Fouled back. On Tuesday, he went 0 for 3, but did walk twice. Struck out 3 times as well. That was his 15th game of the season with multiple strikeouts. He now has 45 on the year. 1-2. Make it 46 as Quiroz goes down swinging. Ben Petchke, 3 straight strikeouts, 4 overall on the season. Whoa. Back to the top of the order. Benjamin Rosengard now up for his second at-bat. He was the first of 4 Ks and the only one looking for Petchke so far today. Petchke is so far looking very nice coming off of that short IL stint. He's looking like that 8 innings he pitched in Gateway, which is still, by the way, the most innings thrown by an Otters starter this season. That one in the dirt gets past Mark Black, but nobody on base, not really a need to worry about it. Petchke had a rough outing in his last one against Mississippi. Ended up going on the IL. Before that, though, he threw 6 scoreless against Lake Erie. Called a strike, and it's 1-2 to Rosengard. Petchke looking to strike out the side here. One strike away from doing so. Edwards and Quiroz both went down swinging. One-two grounder down the first baseline, foul. Petchke missed all of 2025 with injury. Luckily for him, what put him on the IL was only enough to miss a start. Just tweaked something, and he's back at it. Another 1-2 in the dirt. Now, Petchke has already had Tommy John twice, which very rough. Still crazy that he could still throw 94 after having Tommy John twice. Shows you how much he's committed to the game. A little bit of a weird inside out swing. Still goes foul, though. It remains at 2-2. Petchke 2 2/3 now. Pitch number 46. Another 2-2. Grounder over to third. Gonzalez, long throw, a jump throw, and it's perfect. What a play at third by Marcos Gonzalez. A little Jeter-esque over at third base. Long throw, and it was perfect over to Logan Brown at first. As we'll hit the bottom of the third, 1-0 Otters on the Otters Digital Network.
He is our next competitor in the Indiana Air National Guard push-up contest. The record currently is at 55. If he can get 56 or more, he's in the running for season tickets for next year. Got 30 seconds. You ready, man? Ready, set, go! Cheer him on, everybody! We're halfway there. 15 seconds to go. Evan is out. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. We'll count that one. What do you get? 46. Man, that was a good try. Let's hear it for Wyatt, everybody. In 300-degree temperature. Let's roll. Don't forget, fans, stick around after tonight's game for our fireworks show, which is sponsored by the BMW Post Online 1 right here at EBSC's historic Rossi Field.
Third inning is brought to you by Precision Pest and Wildlife. Every great team brings precision to the field. We bring it to your home and business. Call 812-993-3341 or visit precisionpestwildlife.com. Let's elevate the standard together. Marcos Gonzalez elevated his defense on that play and ended up getting the Otters out of the inning. Another 1-2-3 for Petchke. It's Lynn Scott at the top of the order leading off in the bottom of the third. Petchke 3 scoreless. It's Lynn Scott, Jones, and Pierce lead off against Costura. First pitch slider is called a strike on the outside edge. Lynn Scott flew out to right field in his first at-bat over to LaCory, who's still out there in the sun. Bunt showed, pulled back, and it's called a strike. Very inside strike call. Lynn Scott is going to call his timeout. He might have said a couple of words to home plate umpire Rudy Bosk. It's Bosk behind the plate calling the balls and strikes. Trevor Klosterman over at first, and Nick Webb at third. Andy McCauley talking to Nick Webb over there. 0-2. Slow roller out in front of the plate. Could be perfectly placed. No play. After showing bunt, a swinging bunt, and an infield single for Lynn Scott to start the third.
The second baseman, number 12.
Well, that's the second time we've seen that already out of the 4 hits the Otters have. Monty Jones had the other one. It was a bit of a weird tapper out in front of the plate, and he ended up making it. It was the infield single for Jones. He ended up stealing second base, but didn't advance any further than that. Lynn Scott, though, at first, getting a big old stare down from Costura as the first pitch is fouled away. Now, Monty Jones having a great series already. And now has a hit in 6 straight games. looking to get a multi-hit game in 5 of those 6 games. A little outside, it's 1-1. Costura, first season with Washington, first professional season. Got his first pro strikeout in his first pro start on June 27th against Joliet. First outing was against Lake Erie on the 19th. As that one is fouled away, makes it 1-2. He threw an inning, gave up 2 earned runs, 3 hits, then threw a scoreless frame on the 23rd against Windy City. That's after a 2026 collegiate season with Baldwin Wallace, in which he had a 2.08 ERA in 108 1/3 innings. Throw it back. Linscott kind of showed him up a little bit there. He kind of poked his hand down, making sure it looked like he was going to fake to go to second, and it caused a disengagement. Ends up getting back there safely. Fly ball into center field. Right there is Edwards to make the catch for out number 1. Costura was with Baldwin Wallace for his entire collegiate career. Baldwin Wallace in Berea, Ohio. A little bit southwest of Cleveland, near their airport, which is around 25-30 minutes away from downtown Cleveland. He had a 10-3 record. Gave up 25 earned runs, 19 walks compared to 79 strikeouts. As another throwback to first is not in time. Dennis Pierce struck out looking on 3 pitches in his first at-bat. He's 0 for 1 today. Costura. A couple looks back over to first, covered there by Rosengard. First pitch. Breaking ball hits the zone for strike 1. The 74 doesn't throw too fast. He was a D3 second-team All-American. ABCA Rawlings All first-team selection as well. Won a lot of awards in that 2026 season. Won a lot of awards in the OAC Conference. Pitched 3 complete games. One of them in the Division III Baseball Championships. Ripped back up the middle into center field for a base hit. Almost got a piece of Costura. Dropped his glove on that one, and 106 off the bat, a very sharp single for Dennis Pierce.
First baseman, number 28, Logan Brown.
Logan Brown up for his second at-bat of the day. He also struck out in his first. Swinging, though, instead of looking for Pierce. 2 on here with 1 out in the bottom of the 3rd. Ripped down the line. That's a fair ball. That's going to get all the way into the corner. 1 run will come in. Rounding second and stopping at third is Pierce. Logan Brown an RBI double. And the Otters take a 2-0 lead. Logan Brown continuing to hit the ball very well in this series as he puts the Otters on top by 2. 6th hit of the day for Evansville, and now it's 2nd and 3rd with 1 out for Marcos Gonzalez. Made a very great defensive play at third to end the top half. Now a chance to do some damage in the bottom. First pitch swung on and missed for strike 1. Costura so far has not given up more than 2 earned runs in an appearance this season with Washington. That 3rd earned run over at 3rd. Another swing and a miss. It's 0-2. Gonzalez a chance to extend that lead for the Otters with Petschke pitching very well. Definitely put him in a more comfortable spot here with a bigger lead. 0-2. There's a fly ball into left field. Going back is Brocado. That's over his head, and it'll one-hop off the wall. 2 runs will come in. Marcos Gonzalez doubles the lead. It's 4-0 Otts. That's exactly what you're looking for if you're the Otters. And right over the head of Brocado, off of the airport sign in left field. As Costura has now given up 4 earned in his start. 3 runs here in the 3rd inning. As we will have a mound visit here, we'll take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard. Every game, I think, today is a night game. So we got a lot to go through. Down east, up on New Jersey, 2-0 in the 2nd inning. Florence is already blowing out Windy City 9-1 in the 3rd. Schaumburg just up 1-0 on Quebec in the 3rd. 4-0 Gateway up on Mississippi in the 4th. 8-7 in the 5th inning between New York and Sussex. Troyes beating Brockton 5-1. They got the bases loaded with nobody out. 2-1 Lake Erie is up on Joliet in the 7th. And Ottawa is winning against Tri-City 5-2. That was perfect timing. We made it through all the scores, and immediately after that, the pitching coach, Josh Flowerman for Washington, and back to the dugouts. So 4 runs in. 3 of them here in the 3rd as the Otters are up 4-0 for all the soccer fans out there. 4-0. First pitch to LG is fouled back off the roof. Goes all the way back over to Rosengard at first. Gonzalez 2 for 2 as he drives in his 37th and 38th runs of the season. Now ties him with Ponder for the most. There's a base hit into left field. Stop sign at 3rd for Gonzalez. That is 4 straight hits for the Otters as Castillo joins the hit parade. Makes it 1st and 3rd. Still 1 out for Blake Robertson.
The right fielder, number 31, Blake Robertson.
B-Rob drove in the first run of the day in the 2nd inning. RBI double. Brought in Gonzalez from 2nd. Now has Gonzalez at 3rd with Castillo at 1st. 1 out here in the bottom of the 3rd. 3 runs in. Runner goes as that is going to be a fair ball into right field. Castillo rounding 3rd as Gonzalez will score. Castillo will stay there. Robertson back-to-back RBI base hits. And it's 5-0 Otters.
The catcher, number 29, Mark Black.
So both Gonzalez and Robertson 2 for 2 with a single and a double. As Castillo now sits at 3rd with Robertson at 1st for Mark Black. First pitch a little inside for ball 1. They get 9 hits already for the Otters. They're looking to put up a big offensive day here against Costura. Maybe a little bit of revenge for the 23-10 game. See what happens here in the 3rd. Already 5 runs in, 4 of them in the 3rd. 9 hits. It just becomes more and more comfortable for Petschke on the mound. One now to Black after that pitch was called a strike. Costura's Baldwin Wallace team finished 37-12. Ended up winning the OAC Conference Tournament their first 2 games, but ended up losing in the championship game as that one's fouled away. It's 1-2. They won their first 2 games against Ohio Northern. Mount Union lost their next game against Ohio Northern and beat them in the conference championship game. So Wallace, after winning the OAC, ended up going 3-0 in the D2 Regional. Beat Wartburg in Iowa, beat them twice, and Wisconsin Lacrosse, as that one's inside for ball 2. Made it to the Super Regional. They swept Messiah, which is in Pennsylvania, and then ended up winning the first game in the D3 College World Series, against Johns Hopkins, but then lost their next 2 to be eliminated. Little high, it's ball 3. Full count now here to Mark Black. They lost those 2 games to be eliminated. It was against East Texas Baptist and Denison. Pretty sure it was Denison that ended up winning the entire thing. Full count payoff pitch is skied into shallow center. Running after it is Edwards. He'll make the catch. No tag at third from LG Castillo. Everybody will stay at their respective bases as that's out number 2.
The shortstop, number 19, TJ Salvaggio.
So both outs have been flyouts to center. Sandwiched in between that has been 5 straight hits and 4 runs coming in. Single, double, double, single, single has given the Otters a 5-0 lead. Salvaggio still has runners at the corners, but now with 2 outs. No room for error if they want to extend the lead even further. First pitch from Costura. There's a grounder foul over to Andy McCauley at third. Nice snag from him over there. Andy McCauley and Billy Easley over at first, both wearing the specialty jerseys as well. A little inside. Usually we don't see Max Peterson and TJ Zarowitz wearing the specialty jerseys, but both of them are as well. Max Peterson wearing his number 26. Usually Zarowitz is number 41. At least that's what it says on the roster, but he's wearing the number 11 today. 1-1 is skied into right field. LaCory running after it, and he will make the catch for out number 3. A 4-run third inning, and the Otters lead it 5-0 as we hit the 4th on the Otters Digital Network.
It's time for Jersey Mike's. Build us up. We got 2 master sub chefs. Brother versus sister. Brother is Camden on third base side. Sister is Lily on first base side. They're going to be spinning around the bats, building themselves an artisan BLT, and then delivering it to their hot mill. The first one that does that, it doesn't lose any ingredients, is the winner. You ready, Lily? You ready, Camden? Let's go! Super fast. She needs your help, everybody. Cheer her on. Oh, there we go. Starts building strong ingredients. Your winner is Camden, but keep going. Don't stop. You got it. No quitters here. No quitters. There you go. Delivery. DoorDash it. There we go. Good job, Lily. The only way to top a sub is with real red wine vinegar, aged with red grapes and no food coloring, and the only way to get it is at Jersey Mike's. Because authentic ingredients make a sub above. Jersey Mike's is at 939 North Burkhardt Road in Evansville. Tonight's Thirsty Thursday is made possible by our friends at Working Distributors. Be sure to take advantage.
Fourth inning is brought to you by Sheet Metal Workers Local 20. For 138 years, Sheet Metal Workers have led the way in sheet metal industries like heating and air, architectural, industrial, and more. Visit smart20evansville.com for more information. Peak Monroy Czech leading off in the fourth inning, now with a 5-run deficit that they have to come back from. Ben Petchke has thrown 3 very nice innings, only giving up 1 hit and not allowing any runs. Slow roller down the third base line, foul over to Tom Vaith, who's at third. Vaith, the third base coach and the manager. At first, Andy Fleischacker is there. That is going to miss just outside. It's 1-2. Fleischacker's first season with Washington, 56 years old. And it's a pretty extensive coaching career. So that one misses a little outside. He most recently was the manager of the Swiss national team in 2011 for the European Championship qualifiers. That was the last time he was a manager. He was in Europe for a lot of his coaching career. Popped up right side of the infield. Logan Brown will make the catch, and that's out number 1. Was with the Cologne Cardinals in the Bundesliga 1, 1998. Ended up becoming the pitching coach, moving back to the States at Gibbs High School. Actually coached Boof Bonzer, which one of the best names in MLB history. Was it Zurich with the Challengers in Ligue Nationale A, or A, I guess. Grounder over to second, throw to first is in time, and that's out number 2. Was with the Zurich Challengers again in 2007, 2008. Actually pitched a couple games for them as well. Went back to the States with Lake Erie College. And then went back to the Bundesliga 2 in Germany with the Solingen Alligators. Hopefully I'm saying that right, before becoming the manager of the Swiss national team. So back and forth from Europe to the States, Fleischacker has been everywhere. A little outside, it's 2-0 already here to Andrew Czech. Czech has the 4th best WAR in the Frontier League at a 2.12. Right behind him is John Ponder at a 2.10. Or stats based off of what statistical databases we have in iScore, which is the main platform for scores, stats, and pretty much anything in terms of the Frontier League. So that'll miss a little low. It's 3-1 to Czech. Czech had a game with 5 walks. June 12th against New Jersey. He is the only player in the Frontier League to have a 5-walk game this season. Overall, 45 walks compared to 43 strikeouts. That's called a strike. It's 3-2 now. Payoff pitch from Petchke. Popped up left side, foul. Overhead foul ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best, never regret it. Remains at 3-2. Well, a very good crowd here on July 2nd, considering the heat. Another one fouled away. Oh, that's right on top of the press box.
Heads Construction. Choose the best, never regret it.
Czech hit his 100th career Frontier League homer on Tuesday and ended up going 3 for 5 in that game. As he fouls another one off himself. He's from Reminderville, Ohio. I will say, it is in between Cleveland and Akron. It does not sound like a real place. Reminderville? What I've noticed about being in the Midwest living in the Midwest for the first time, a lot of things that end in Ville, and obviously we are sort of the pot calling the kettle black, being named after Evan, which I guess it's not named after me, but that's my name too. But either way, lot of places with the end of their names being Ville. Reminderville might be taking it a little bit of a step too far. That's all. That's all. Long at bat here for check. That one's popped up. Foul ground could be a chance for Mark Black, and it will hit the roof.
That overhead foul ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best and never regret it. I think there's an echo in here.
Long at bat for check. Still 3-2. Last year with Washington, Check hit 10 for 39. 5 of his 25 homers were against the Otters. That's a grounder to second. Amani Jones will flick it to first. And that's out number 3. Another 1-2-3 inning for Ben Petschke as he has thrown a fantastic 4 scoreless. Hitting the bottom of the 4th. It is 5-0 Otters on the Otters Digital Network.
It's time to show us your best smiles for the HRI Dental Smile Cam. Over 300,000 members trust HRI Dental, based right here in the Hoosier state of Indiana. HRI Dental has been ensuring smiles for more than 37 years. Keep smiling with HRI Dental. Get a big round of applause for our volunteer as they help brush off the bases. Look at those pearly white shine. Fans, a reminder that the theme jerseys being worn by the Otters this evening are currently up for auction online through Dash. The Dash auction will close at 8:30, so you have 43 minutes. Be sure to get the bids in before time runs out. For more information on how to bid, see one of our staff members or visit the Evansville Otters Facebook page. You can bid on the jersey being worn by manager Andy McCauley. You can bid on Joel's jersey as he goes
Bottom
through
4.
of course, with the QR code.
Pre-game and post-game shows for the Evansville Otters are brought to you by Papa John's. Available every game night before and after each Otters game on the Otters Digital Network and Home Team Network are the pre-game and post-game shows. Not necessarily the longest things in the world, but we do talk. We do speak. This is a fact. And we also have a good time. We're always having a good time here on Home Team Network. Lynn Scott leads off yet again. All 9 batters got an at-bat in the bottom of the 3rd as 4 runs came in. And the Otters lead it 5-0. Lynn Scott got a hit to lead off the 3rd. Ended up coming around to score the first of those 4 runs. Best game of the season for Lynn Scott was June 19th against Mississippi. Went 4 for 5. There's a high fly ball into left field. Going back is Brocado. It will stay in the yard just barely as Brocado will make the catch right in front of the Budweiser sign for out number 1.
Industries like heating, air, architectural, industrial, or visit smart20lands.com for more information. Second baseman, number 12, Amani Jones.
Monty Jones up here against Costura. Last season for Baldwin Wallace, Costura had a 3.07 ERA, 67 and a third, had a lot of honors there as well. A lot of different awards and whatnot for Costura. Ended up getting the Kent Tekulve Ohio Athletic Conference Pitcher of the Year. And that's important because Tekulve was a former Pirate and also the director of baseball ops for the Washington Wild Things. So that's called a strike, makes it 1-1. So a little bit of a nice little full circle moment. The Kent Tekulve winner last season playing for the team in which Tekulve was the director of baseball ops for. A little outside, it's 2-1. Amani Jones currently at a 1 for 2, singled in the first, ended up stealing second, flew out to center in the 3rd. 2-1. High chopper over to third. Fowler's throw to first is bobbled, and it will get into right field. As Rosengard couldn't handle the low throw at first. See what they call that. I think it's an error. Yeah, definitely think should be called an error, but I think it's going to be called a base hit. So that'll put Amani Jones at 2 for 3. If that throw was on target, I think Amani Jones would have been out at first. But either way, good for Amani Jones. He now has 5 multi-hit games in his last 6. And that is 10 hits for the Otters today through 3 1/3. Throwback is not in time. Over to first. In 2025, Costura pitched a no-hitter as well, the 5th in program history. That was against John Carroll on May 2nd. There's a fly ball into deep center field. Going back is Edwards. He's at the wall, and it's gone! Second straight day with a 2-run homer for Dennis Pierce, and he moves into the double digits. 10 homers on the year. Otters are up 7-0 here in the 4th. Dennis Pierce, a 2-run shot, as the Otters now lead it by 7. Pierce becomes the second player to homer in back-to-back days, as Edwards had no chance at that one out in center field. Called a strike to Logan Brown. It's 0-1. Dennis Pierce really trying to push for that all-star nod. Feel as though he deserves it. At least put him in the home run derby. That would be fun. It would be really fun to see an Otter in the home run derby. And Dennis Pierce is now leading the charge here with 10. There's a base hit into center field for Logan Brown. The guys cannot stop hitting the ball.
Third baseman, number 2, Marcos Gonzalez.
They get 12 hits, 7 runs. Still nobody warming in the bullpen, though, for Washington. It's been a fantastic start to the game for the Otts. Inside to Gonzalez. Marcos has 2 hits, a single and a double. Scored twice and has driven in 2 runs already today. 2-run double in the 3rd. A little high and away. It's 2-0. That's the first home run that Costura has given up in his professional career. Gave up only 4 homers in 2025. 67 1/3 innings. 2-0. That's outside. It's ball 3. Well, those 2 seasons with Baldwin Wallace were really the only 2 years in which Costura got playing time, at least a good amount of playing time. Only 11 innings in 2024, 5 2/3 in 2023. There's a fly ball into deep left field. That one is also out of here. 2 2-run homers, one for Pierce, one for Marcos. And he is 3 for 3. Homer number 7 on the year, and it is 9-0 Evansville. .380, that one got over the left center field wall, just right over the Budweiser sign. 4 runs in back-to-back frames offensively for the Otters, and they lead it by 9. It's now a blowout here in the 4th, and Washington will finally get somebody warming in the bullpen. First pitch is called a strike to LG. It's 0-1. Marcos Gonzalez now a triple shy of the cycle, and it's only the 4th inning. So we'll see a couple more attempts at at-bats from him. Try and get that triple. He is the only guy on the team with a triple. The Otters only have one 3-bagger on the year. And it has come from Gonzalez. So if an opportunity, now would be the time. One to LG. Swing and a miss. Costura now has given up 13 hits and 9 earned runs. No walks, 2 strikeouts. He just has been giving up a lot of hard contact today. A little high and away. It's 2-2. Oh, Otters are looking really good offensively yet again. Already lead the league in batting average at .308. 3rd in hits, 8th in runs. That's cranked into left field, but he got out in front of it. It's going to go foul. Still remains at 2-2. This is what the Otters do. They just get a lot of hits. Remember when the Otters got 25 hits against Lake Erie and 21 of them were singles? That kind of explains how the Otters have been all season offensively. Swung on and missed for strike 3, and that is out number 2. 3rd K for Costura.
Right fielder.
And that'll bring up Blake Robertson.
Blake Robertson.
By the way, that 25 hit day against Lake Erie is actually the most hits any team has gotten in a game this season. According, of course, to iScore's database. First pitch swung on and missed for Robertson. Imagine if Robertson hits a homer here and we'll have 2 guys on cycle watch. That would be kind of fun. That will clip Robertson, and that's a hit by pitch. Just a little inside. It just looks like it clipped him on the front arm right there. Yeah, right on the shoulder area. Not too much, though, and Robertson will take his base, and I think that'll be it for Costura. Tom Vaith will call to the bullpen. The Otters score 4 more runs in the bottom of the 4th. They now lead at 9-0. 2 2-run homers. 1 from Pierce, 1 from Gonzalez. And Costura is out of the game. We'll take a quick break. Otters in the middle of a blowout against Washington on the Otters Digital Network.
Washington from the bullpen. 21. Tiger Alfamora. Into pitch. Alfamora is on the mound. Heroes behind the plate. Pitcher catcher batteries powered by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East. 2319 North River Road. 812-475-9000. Tell them St. the Otters sent you. Tell them more about the VFW Post 1114, which you can find at 110 North Wabash Avenue in Evansville. We told you about Zumba with Miss Tammy on Mondays from 5:30 to 6:30. Told you about bingo on Sunday at 4 and Thursday at 6 Thursday. And then trivia nights every other Friday. Check the website at VFWPost1114.org for those.
Pitching Change is brought to you by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road, or give them a call at 812-475-9K.
The dining room is open.
I feel as though the Otters have been a little upset ever since that 23-10 loss, in which they have now managed to win Game 2 and take a 9-0 lead in Game 3. It appears you do not want to make the Otters mad. Doesn't seem to be the best for your performance on the field. Shuto Okamura is into the game. First pitch is making Mark Black duck. 67 miles per hour. 1-0. Okamura, another guy that doesn't really throw the fastest. He's kind of like the righty version of Costura. He has a 9.82 ERA, 3 2/3 innings, pitched on Tuesday. There's one at 68, called a strike. Through 2 innings on Tuesday, gave up 5 hits, 2 earned runs. No walks, no strikeouts. This is now his 4th professional outing in the Frontier League. Overall, his 8th after he pitched 4 games with Idaho Falls last season, or earlier this year in the Pioneer League. One, two. Little inside. Mark Black 0 for 2. Mark Black and Salvaggio combined 0 for 4. Everybody else, they have a lot of hits. And I don't really want to count 13 of them, but I don't know for how many. Fouled away. You know what? I'll count. 13 of 20. That actually was not as hard as I thought it would be. The top 7 guys in the lineup are 13 for 20. That is crazy. That is low and away. It's ball 3. Well, if the Otters keep it up here, we might see a position player pitch on the Otters side of things for the first time this season. We're heading to Joliet tomorrow, so definitely is going to need to save as many arms as you can. That's definitely not going to be for a while, though, with how Ben Petchke's pitching. Fly ball into foul ground. Running after it is Rosengart, and he will make the catch for out number 3. Otters bring in 4 more runs, 2 2-run shots for Dennis Pierce and Marcos Gonzalez, and they lead it 9-0 heading to the 5th on the Otters Digital Network.
Gentlemen, boys, girls, please welcome to the field your Southwest Graphics, Evansville Otterville. Ladies and gentlemen, the Southwest Graphics Honor Bells, and a special shout out to Southwest Graphics as they are having a group outing on the Corona Extra patio deck. So we say hello to all of them, and here's all of our other group outings and partners in our game this evening. Great to have everybody with us here at the ballpark, and hope you have a fantastic 4th of July Independence Day weekend. Leading off, left fielder 34, Anthony Garcano.
We got some more hacky sacking going on in the Otters bullpen during the mid-innings. Didn't see who was really involved in there. I think it was Garrett Simpson, who has not pitched in a good minute, so should be pitching over the weekend against Joliet. Junior Serta as well over there. 1-0 pitch. Fouled back to the screen. 1-1 here. It's Brocato leading off, then LaCory and Fowler. Top three here in the top of the fifth. Washington still only has one hit on the day. Single in the second inning from Jeff LaCory. 2-1 is a little outside for ball three. 6.7% on the walk rate for Brocato. 30.7% K rate. League average is at 24 in the Frontier League. Grounder down the third base line, foul, and it's 3-2. OPS, though, over 1,000 at 1,018, which is mostly carried by his slugging percentage at .664, which is over 250 points higher than the league average, which is around 400. Swung on and missed, strike three. Brocato goes down, swinging strikeout number 5 for Petchke. And that's out number 1 in the fifth.
American Bank strikeouts. Right fielder 6, Jeff LaCory.
Jeff LaCory will stand in as the only hit of the day for Washington. He's 1 for 1. If anybody is going to hit Evansville pitching when even the entire team is in a little bit of an offensive slump, it is LaCory. And there's another base hit. And Jeff LaCory just cannot stop hitting Otters pitching. It is impossible for him to get out against the odds.
Third baseman 19, Paul Fowler.
So Jeff LaCory 2 for 2. The rest of the lineup for Washington is 0 for 13. Bit of a weird one offensively for Washington. Train's still going. A little high. Fowler struck out in the second inning. That ended the second. Oh. Inside, straightens him up a little bit. Makes it 2-0. What? Feel like it passed us and then the train got louder. Didn't think that was possible. 2-0. And it's ball 3. Petchke leads the team in walks with 25. For Fowler, he has 12 on the season. Not too much of a walking guy. This is a 3-0 here, though, as that one is called a strike. Fowler, 6.3% walk rate. 2.5% below the league average. 3-1 is going to get past Mark Black, but it doesn't matter as that one is ball 4. And Petchke's first walk of the day will put 2 on for the first time today for the Wild Things. 1 out here in the top of the 5th. That'll bring up Kyle Edwards. We'll have a mound visit here. Kyle Edwards from Virginia Beach. He's played his entire collegiate career with Old Dominion. He ended up getting taken on his visit to Old Dominion by Vinny Pasquantino, who is on the Royals. He's not having the best season this year, but had a very good World Baseball Classic with Italy. Pasquantino played for Old Dominion and also Charlottesville in the Valley League, the Charlottesville Tom Sox, in which Edwards also played there in 2023. Two were never teammates at all, but still, Pasquantino, I'm sure, trying to get people to join the school that he went to, Old Dominion, not necessarily a baseball powerhouse like an LSU or a Oklahoma. So that one is hit into center field for a base hit. Rounding third is LaCory. He will come in to score. And Kyle Edwards has opened the scoring for Washington. It's 9-1. Back to runners on first and second. Run in here for Washington. Still down 8. Isaiah Quiroz will step up for his second at bat. 2 on, 1 out in the top of the 5th inning. First pitch is called a strike. Quiroz from Bergenfield, New Jersey. A little bit west of New York City. A little east of Patterson, which is where the New Jersey Jackals play and are currently playing right now against the Down East Bird Dogs. They're losing 5-0. Windy City is only down 2. They were down 9-1. It's now 9-7 after they had a 6-run third inning. Otherwise, nothing really too crazy in terms of the games going on right now. Everybody is playing currently. Last 3 Wild Things have reached. 0-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Make it 6 Ks for Petchke as Quiroz goes down swinging for the second straight time. 2 outs now. Back to the top of the order, and Rosengard.
First baseman, 5, Benjamin Rosengard.
Rosengard spent his last collegiate season at UC San Diego. He hit .284, 50 games, which was second on the team. Started his professional career with Idaho Falls in the Pioneer League. Mentioned yesterday that .463 season where he led the Pioneer League in batting average, but his first season there, he also played pretty well. .337 in 31 games. Oh, 1. Very slow roller. That's going to be a fair ball. Throw to first is in time. And that's out number 3. Smart play from Mark Black to get out number 3 there, as he had to really rush for that one just to make sure he beat out the speedy runner in Rosengard. Run comes in for Washington. Still down 8, though, as we're halfway home on the Otters Digital Network.
They're going to be hula hooping for about 30 seconds. Whoever does the best job, as judged by our friendly neighborhood Otter Bells, will be your winner at bragging rights at Bossy Field. You two ready to give each other some space? Spread out. Ready, set, go! Cheer them on, everybody. This is hard. Oh, 15 seconds to go. You're halfway there.
You have 16 minutes to place a bid on one of those theme jerseys being worn by the Otters this evening. Just 16 minutes. Check the bids if you've already placed a bid or two. Make sure no
5th inning brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings. Bottomless apps are now here. Dine and only visit either Evansville locations. 5405 Pearl Drive and 715 North Green River Road for details. There are 15 minutes left to bid on the jerseys currently being worn by the Otters today, as well as the jersey that I wore in pregame. I don't really know why you'd want that one, besides, I don't know, maybe it's a little bit cheaper than the one that TJ Salvaggio is wearing as he steps up to the plate. It really depends on what your preference is. It's Salvaggio, Lynn Scott, and Amani Jones to lead off against Okamura. Came in for Britt Costura. So the final line for Costura is looking like 3 2/3, 13 hits, 9 earned runs, no walks, and 3 strikeouts. In line for the loss here, barring a big Washington comeback. Grounder, it eats up Fowler at third base. It's going to get into left field. So base hit for Salvaggio. Hit number 14 for the Otters now through 4.
Edward Jones, leadoff batter, center fielder, number 5, Sam Linscott.
Back to the Edward Jones leadoff batter, Sam Linscott, up for the 4th time today in 5 innings. He's 1 for 3. Singled in the 3rd, came around to score. As a runner on first in Salvaggio, who is a perfect now 12 for 12 in stolen bases. First pitch, called a ball. Okamura has a pretty slow windup and throw, so chance here for Salvaggio if he wanted to possibly take second base. 2 stolen bases in this game for the Otters, one by Amani Jones and one by Marcos Gonzalez. Otters doing a lot of running the past 2 games with their main base stealer, John Ponder, out for the last 2. 1-2 here to Amani Jones. It was the 67-mile-per-hour curveball that hit the top of the zone for the 2nd strike. That's into center field, and a base hit. Back-to-back singles leads off the 5th inning for the Otters, as the middle infielders get it done. Not able to reach that one as it heads into center field. Speaking of middle infielder, Monty Jones, the 2nd baseman, up now with 2 on and nobody out in the bottom of the 5th inning. Monty Jones has 2 hits already today, 2 singles. One of them was in the 1st, stole 2nd. One in the 4th, came around to score. Grounder down the 3rd base line, foul. I think we're going to have more warming in the bullpen for the Wild Things. At least there's some stretching going on back there. One, 2 to Jones. Fouled back to the Otters dugout. LG Castillo over there. Definitely a happy dugout so far today with the 9-1 lead. There's the bullpen right there. You see the man closest to the mound right there is number 27, Mac Anglin, who has already pitched in this series, but overall, nothing really doing in terms of movement or throwing warm-up pitches in the bullpen. Monty Jones hit .343 at Millersville last season. Ended up going to the Staten Island Ferry Hawks first in his professional career. Hit .208 in 7 games. Now is really breaking out here with the Otters. That one's outside, and it's 2-2. Still the only switch hitter we've seen in an Otters uniform this season. He's doing a good job hitting from both sides. Reaches out, grounds one in front of the mound. It's going to be a foul ball. Okamura will throw it over to first just in case, but it was called foul kind of right off the jump there from Rudy Bosk behind the plate. Both runners will head back to their respective bases. And the at-bat will continue here for Amani Jones. Washington has had to go to the bullpen early here in the 5th inning. Washington has the lowest bullpen usage rate in the Frontier League. That is ripped into right field. Got out in front of it, though, as it goes foul. 35.9% bullpen usage rate for Washington, lowest in the Frontier League. Otters are just kind of in the middle. Both these teams, though, very good amount of games over 500, which means they win a lot of series. Washington has won 83.3% of their series this season. Evansville, 61.5%. Definitely a chance here to win a series, though, against Washington at home after losing their first one against Washington. That's into right field and down for a base hit. Stopping at third is Salvaggio, and back-to-back-to-back singles have the bases loaded with nobody out for Dennis Pierce. So that's a 3-hit day already for Amani Jones, his third 3-hit game in 4 games.
Number 10, Dennis Pierce.
Dennis Pierce already has a home run today, and now he'll try to maybe hit a grand slam. At least try and bring a run in. First pitch. Slow roller down the third base line. It'll go foul, and it's 0-1. Salvaggio on third, Lynn Scott on second, Jones on first after 3 straight singles to open up the 5th inning. That one had 1 bounce in fair territory and decided it did not want to stay there.
I have a couple of special birthday announcements coming up. Stand by.
16 hits, 9 runs for the Otters. Their season high is 25. The Frontier League season high is 25. That will be called strike 2. Pierce has already driven in 2 runs. He already has 2 hits. Opportunity to get that lead. Sorry, the run back that Washington scored in the top half. Stepping off was Okamura. Timeout called by Pierce. Pierce now up to 37 ribbies. It's a big fight for the top of the team leaderboard in RBIs. A lot of guys in that 37-38 range as that's fouled away. Remains at 0-2.
That overhead foul ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best. Never regret it.
Good crowd here on this Thursday night. Especially in terms of dealing with the very warm weather. It's getting a little cooler, though. That is high. And it's 1-2 now to Pierce. 9-1 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Bases loaded. Nobody out against Okamura, who, like Costura, has struggled with the giving up of hits. 1-2. Another one fouled away. Okamura's given up 10 hits, 4 earned runs. He's only pitched 3 2/3, so bit of a small sample size for him, but just like Costura, a little bit on the shorter side, 5'9", doesn't throw the fastest, and lets the breaking pitches kind of do the work for him. 1-2. Ground ball over to third, throw to second for 1, on to first for 2. The run does come in, though, from third, as it's an RBI double play. 5-4-3 brings in Salvaggio from third, and it is 10-1 Otters.
First baseman, number 28, Logan Brown.
So 2 outs now. We'll runner on third in Lynn Scott, as Jones was out number 1 and Pierce was out number 2. In the double play, Logan Brown already has 2 hits today. Try to bring another run in here.
5-minute warning to place a bid on one of those jerseys being worn by the Otters. 5 minutes.
Big gap in the 5-5 hole for the Washington defense. A little low and away for ball 2. Marcos Gonzalez on deck, a triple shy of the cycle. We've seen 2 cycles in Otters history. High fly ball into center field. Edwards is under it. He will make the catch for out number 3. Another run comes in, though, for the Otters on an RBI double play by Dennis Pierce. It's 10-1 as we hit the 6th on the Otters digital network.
Hey, what's up, fans? Amazing Tyler here. I am coming out to your ballpark, appreciating amazing balance. Anything I can lift, I can balance on my fists. Look forward to seeing you at the ballpark real soon.
So we have a couple of special announcements. Last night, we wished a happy 7th birthday to Madison. Madison's family has more birthdays coming up this week, so we say happy birthday to Matt. Celebrating a birthday on the 4th of July, so coming up on Saturday. And a happy 9th birthday to Cullen, who is celebrating his birthday on Sunday, the 5th of July. So happy birthday to Matt, happy birthday to Cullen, happy belated birthday to Madison. Thank you for the cupcakes, they were great. And we say happy birthday early to Preston Leinenbach and Matthew Will. They have birthdays on Monday, July 6th. Happy 17th anniversary to Tabitha and Jeremy Gibson. Let's give a big round of applause to Tabitha and Jeremy Gibson, celebrating 17 years of marriage. And we have one more birthday to tell you about, Travis Burke. He will be 36 years old on Monday, and I'm told officially updated to man status. So Travis Burke sharing a birthday on Monday.
6th inning is brought to you by United Fidelity Bank. The experience you need and the service you deserve since 1914. Well, Ben Petchke saw Landon Williman's quality start yesterday and decided, you know what, let me match that. So he is 1 inning away from a quality start. He's thrown 5 innings, has given up 1 earned run. He's at 83 pitches, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts as well, as he'll face off against Connor Peak, Antonio Monroy, and Andrew Check to lead off the 6th. Otters have a 10-1 lead as they've scored 1 in the 2nd, 4 in the 3rd, 4 in the 4th, and then 1 in the 5th. Cool little pattern there for him. As Petchke, well, already in line for the victory if this score holds. First pitch fouled away. Connor Peak, 23 years old. He's from Sudbury, Massachusetts, a little bit west of Boston. He's in his first professional season, signed on May 23rd after his 2026 season with the Georgetown Hoyas. The 0-1 is a little low for ball 1. Peak hit a .355 in 56 games at Georgetown this season, all Big East second-team selection. As there's a base hit into left field, and Connor Peak has his first hit of the day, leading off the 6th with a single.
Second baseman, 14, Antonio Monroy.
That'll bring up Antonio Monroy. Monroy spent a few seasons in the Mexican League, was with Long Beach Community College his first 2 collegiate seasons in 2016 and 2017. He was in his freshman year of college 10 years ago. He's 29 years old. That one's a little inside. He just turned 29 about a week or 2 ago. June 26, 1997. He was with Georgetown as well, but Georgetown College, not Georgetown University. There is a difference, apparently. A little outside. It's 2-0. Three straight reached after the strikeout of Brocado in the 5th inning. One run ended up coming in to score on the Edwards RBI single. Otherwise, it was a very good start to the outing for Petchke. Only giving up 1 hit through the first 4. Still a very good start for him. Got to say that, of course. 1 run, 4 hits through 5 innings is very commendable, especially when the Otters have put up 10 runs offensively. 2-1 is called a strike. 2-2. Monroy so far is 0 for 2 today, has a grounder to first and a grounder to second. 0 for 2. The 3-4-5 hitters, Monroy, Check, and Brocado, 3 guys that have been terrorizing the Frontier League hitting-wise, are 0 for 6 right now. 2-2. Just inside. It's ball 3. Monroy from Southgate, California. Southgate, a suburb of LA, was teammates with Hector Garcia at Hope International. Hector Garcia ended up starting the season with Washington, but got his contract purchased. A lot of contract getting purchased from Washington this season. That's down the line over into the right field corner, going first to third. And getting into second base now is Monroy, as his double puts runners at second and third with nobody out to bring up Andrew Check. Monroy barely got in there off of the throw from Robertson in right field. Now Check a chance to bring in a couple more runs for Washington. Check 0 for 2, a couple of grounders. One back to Petchke and one over to second base to Amani Jones. Looking like we're going to start getting some action in the bullpen, though, for the Otters. First pitch to Check is called a strike. Let's take a look at who is first out of the pen for the Otters today. It is Alex Valdez, rocking the number 35. See a lot of guys in the bullpen over there. First hit ball a little high. That's 1-1 now to Check. Not sure if he's going to pitch today, but today is also Dylan Zentko's birthday. So happy birthday to Zentko, turning the big 23 today. So hopefully, maybe we'll see him pitch on his birthday. You never know. A lot of July birthdays for the Otters. Foul tip into the glove. It's 1-2 to Check, as he'll call his hitter's timeout. Brocado on deck. Doesn't really get too much easier. I know they're both combined 0 for 4, but still, any sort of swing and could be 10-4. 1-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Check goes down swinging, strikeout number 7. 7 German-American Bank strikeouts for Petchke, and that's a big out number 1 here in the 6th. That'll bring up Anthony Brocado. Brocado, also 29 years old. Was with Florence last season, 10 for 36, 2 homers, 12 ribbies against the Otters last year. Was with Washington as well in 2022 and 2023. Hit 28 homers in 2023, which is in the top 5 for most in a season by a Wild thing in their franchise history. 1-0. It's a ground ball down the third base line. Petchke does not have a play, and Brocado will reach on the infield single. Run comes in from third, and it's 10-2. That was a perfectly placed swinging bunt there for Brocado. His first hit of the day went 2 feet, 2 inches, according to TrackMan. And it is 10-2. Washington scored a run in the last 2 frames. Max Peterson will come out. See if he'll make a change here if we're just having a normal mound visit. And he will make the change. So Alex Valdez will come into the game. Petchke's out here. As the responsibility, both runners at the corners, first and third with 1 out in the 6th. But overall, a good performance from Ben Petchke. Valdez will try to clean things up here in the 6th. But the Otters still lead at 10-2. We'll take a quick break on the Otters Digital Network.
Otters call the bullpen. Alex Valdez into pitch. Valdez is on the mound. Black behind the plate. Pitcher-catcher batteries powered by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find your battery into the Answer Auto Repair East, 2319 Northlands Road. 812-475-9000. The Otters are back at EVSC's historic Bossy Field on Friday, July 10th, for the start of a 3-game series against the Sussex County Miners. Yours truly will be on assignment elsewhere, but join everyone else for Margaritaville Night on Friday, featuring themed jerseys that will be auctioned on Dash. Jurassic Ballpark Night on Saturday, and a Sunday Family Fun Day. Tickets are available at EvansvilleOtters.com or call 812-435-8686.
Alex Valdez is the new pitcher into the game for the Otters. He has a 5.23 ERA in 20 2/3 innings. Coming off of a couple of games against Florence over the weekend in which he threw a scoreless frame on Saturday, and then a couple of scoreless frames, 2 of them, with 3 strikeouts. So, good little stretch. That was after, though, on the 24th, giving up 3 earned runs and earning his first loss of the season. As there's a base hit into center field, and another run will come in. Makes it 10-3. Jeff LaCory keeps on hitting the ball well against the Otters. He's 3 for 3.
Third baseman, 19, Cole Fowler.
That run will be earned to Petchke. Now up to 3 earned in 5 1/3 innings. First and second, still 1 out for Cole Fowler. First pitch from Valdez. Swung on and missed for strike 1. 1-1 record for Valdez. He got the loss on 24th against Joliet. Ended up getting the win earlier in the season in May. Another swing and a miss. It's 0-2. Valdez 3rd season with the Otters last season. 3.40 ERA in 45 innings through 7 of those innings against Washington. Gave up 2 earned runs, 6 hits, 2 saves, 11 strikeouts. Went 1-2 though against the Wild Things. Coming over from the Kansas City Monarchs in a trade back in 2024. 1.26 ERA in 14 1/3 innings after that trade. Grounder over to first. Tagging the bag is Logan Brown, and that's out number 2 as both runners will advance to second and third.
Center fielder for Kyle Edwards.
Logan Brown used his whole chest to kind of block that one from going past him. Worked out pretty well. Second and third now. Brocato on third. LaCory on second. 2 outs for Kyle Edwards. Washington's already scored 2 runs in this inning. Big swing and a miss for strike one. Valdez has 14 games this season with no earned runs given up. That includes his last 2. Still doesn't have any earned runs, but he is responsible for the runner on second. Another swing and a miss, and it's 0-2 quickly here to Edwards. We're getting to that point in the game where the fans are really chirping. I think the drinks are starting to hit a little bit for the Bossy faithful. All of a sudden, though, Washington is up to 7 hits, 3 runs. 0-2. Little low and away. It's been single, double, strikeout, single, ground out to first so far in this inning. 4 hits, 2 runs. In the dirt, good block from Mark Black. Makes it 2-2. Valdez trying to get out of this with just the 2 runs given up. Otters still have a 7-run lead, 10-3. Washington's offense looking like it's starting to wake up a little bit. Very comfortable lead still for Evansville. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Alex Valdez gives up the 1 run, but ends up getting out of it, leaving runners at second and third. 10-3 Otters as we enter the bottom of the 6th inning on the Otters Digital Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we would like to recognize the brave men and women who have served in the United States Armed Forces. We invite those who are veterans or currently serving in the military to please stand so we may recognize and thank you for your service and sacrifice. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you to those in our armed forces for keeping us free both here and abroad. Tonight's Thirsty Thursday is made possible by our friends at Working Distributors. Be sure to take advantage of our Thirsty Thursday specials. Plus, enjoy $1.50 22-ounce Budweiser draft all night long. Please drink responsibly. Washington, pitching change 27. Mac England into pitch. England's on the mound.
Well, we had a nice little moment recognizing all of the people in the armed forces and everybody who's been serving and has served, maybe serving right now across the United States and abroad. New pitcher into the game for Washington, Mac England. His second appearance with Washington. His first was on Tuesday against the Otters. Through an inning, gave up 2 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, 2 strikeouts. Now back here for outing number 2 in the season and with Washington in this series. He'll face off against Marcos Gonzalez, LG Castillo, and Blake Robertson. Otters up 10-3, but Washington's offense is starting to wake up a little bit in the last couple of offensive frames. Maybe another run or 2 will suffice. Maybe 10? Maybe 10. 10 will work.
Lead off the third baseman, number 2, Marcos Gonzalez.
Marcos Gonzalez leads off. He's a triple away from the cycle. So anything into the gaps, we might have a chance here. You never know. Wonder if he knows that he's a triple shy. He probably does. 3 for 3, though. First pitch is called a strike. Otters have had 2 cycles in their franchise history. David Robinson, not the basketball guy, but the baseball guy, in 1997 against the Kalamazoo Kings. So I'm going to miss, and it's 0-2. The other one was O.J. Garza, May 23rd, 2004 against Florence, which I think were the Freedom at the time. The Kalamazoo Kings definitely do not exist, and I don't think they have existed for a pretty long time. 0-2. Little outside for ball 1. England 95 on that fastball. England's missed the last 2 seasons with injury. He has not pitched in a game professionally since 2023. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Marcos Gonzalez goes down swinging for the first out in the bottom of the 6th. First K for England. And that will bring up LG Castillo.
The left fielder, number 6, LG Castillo.
Castillo 1 for 3 today, has a single in the 3rd, otherwise a fly out to right field and a strikeout swinging against Costura. Swings and misses at strike 1. England from Marengo, Ohio. Population of 300. 300 people live in Marengo. That's an everybody knows everybody type of town. I'm sure Mac England can name every other person in that town if he really wanted to. And you know what? Maybe we could ask him. If you look, let's take a deeper look at Marengo. This is what we're focusing on for the time being while this game goes on. Check swing over to first is a no-go, and it's 1-2. It is technically a village in Morrow County, Ohio. 2020 census population was 283, so I even rounded up in my research. Tried to give them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, but now we're just kind of going into it. 2000 census was 297 people. As that'll miss a little high for ball 2. Let's go to Google Maps and take a look at Marengo, Ohio. See what they got going on here. There are 2 streets, and one of them, or 3 streets actually. One of them is called Main Street, which does make a lot of sense. It's one of those towns that's just outside of a freeway, the 71, that goes pretty much from Columbus to Cleveland. Anyways, that was a very long chat on Marengo, Ohio. We do a lot of weird stuff around here for everybody who's just new. Joining Evan Patoka here with you, as it's another foul ball for another 3-2 pitch. England was drafted twice, one time in the 13th round of the 2021 draft by the Nationals. Ended up not signing with them and going back to Clemson, where he spent his collegiate career, and then got drafted in the 7th round in 2022 by the Royals, as that's a swing and a miss for strike 3. And back-to-back Ks, the first 2 outs in the 6th inning.
The right fielder, number 31, Blake Robertson.
Blake Robertson will stand in for his 4th at-bat. He's reached in his first 3. First pitch a little outside for ball 1. RBI double, RBI single, and a hit by pitch for B-Rob today. Him, just like pretty much everybody in the top 7, having very good offensive days today. That one's called a strike. It's 1-1. Nobody warming in the bullpen for the Otters, so Alex Valdez most likely gonna get the 7th here. There's somebody warming in Washington's bullpen, Chad Coles. Grounder down the first base line, foul. Snagged there, though, by Rosengard. 10 runs, 16 hits, no errors for the Otters. 3 runs, 7 hits, no errors for Washington, as the Otters try to take the series. They win. They're 1 game back of the division, and they'd get their 29th win. Right now, they're 28-17. Last season, it took 80 games to get to 28 wins last year. They won on August 13th against the Mud Monsters to bring their record to 28-52. Took 80 games. It's taken 45 this year, which is an insane turnaround. Especially with the fact that August 13th was the win that brought them to 28-52. They got their 28th win on July 1st. The 29th, we're going to have to double check with. 3-2. That is called strike 3. And Robertson will strike out. Kang the side is Anglin as he gets Gonzalez Castillo swinging, then looking for Robertson. As we'll hit the 7th, 10-3 Otters on the Otters Digital Network.
Get ready for one of the most delicious showdowns in all of baseball. It's the hot dog ice cream race. Eyes on center field, we have a fully loaded cheeseburger versus a fully loaded hot dog versus a ice cream cone. The winner, that item will be half price for the rest of the game at the third baseman session. Blue Stuffs, are you ready? Set, go! Cheer 'em on! Come on, ice cream! The ice cream is melting, it's so hot. Oh, that's one fast moving. Come on, catch up, ice cream! Hey, catch up. Your winner, All-American hot dogs. So all the hot dogs, half price. Third base concession stand until the final out. This is the Jacobs Pub, 7th inning. Jacobs Pub is proud to support the Evansville Otters in Jacobsville neighborhood. Be sure to check out First Fridays in North Main, Jacobs Pub at 607 North Main Street.
Seventh inning here, 10-3 Otters have the lead. Isaiah Quiroz will lead off against Alex Valdez, who's out there for another frame after striking out Kyle Edwards to get out of the top of the 6th. 2 runs, though, did come in for Washington, so they're now down by 7. First pitch called a strike against Quiroz, 0 for 2 with 2 Ks today. Check swing grounder to third. Gonzalez throws to first, and that's in time for out number 1. Easy first out for Valdez. Back to the top of the lineup with Ben Rosengard.
First baseman 5, Benjamin Rosengard.
Valdez trying to get his ERA down from that 5.3. And overall, Petchke will finish his outing with 5 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts. So didn't get the quality start, but still is in line for the victory here, as that's a fly ball into center field, caught by Lynn Scott for out number 2. If he were to get the victory, it would put Petchke's record over 500 at 3-2. Connor Peak Standing up for his 4th at-bat. Singled in the 6th, came around to score. Otherwise, 1 for 3. Peak, we talked about his Georgetown season a little bit earlier, but he was with Holy Cross for his first 4 years. Best season there was in 2025 last year. Grounder to third. Gonzalez crossed the diamond, and it's going to be bobbled at first by Logan Brown. Heading to second is Peak. And the errant throw by Gonzalez will allow Peak to get into scoring position with 2 outs.
Second baseman 14, Antonio Monroy.
Oh, it was almost a good 1-2-3 inning. A little bit of a errant throw there for Gonzalez. Ends up putting Peak at second base. Could get Antonio Monroy here. Still get out of the 7th inning with a scoreless frame. That run does come around to score, though. It will be unearned to Valdez. Pretty sure it'll be the same for every other run that comes in after this, if any do. First pitch to Monroy is called a strike. Peak hit .331 at Holy Cross last season. Missed all of 2024 with injury. Otherwise, didn't get too much playing time and hit .274 and .231 in his other 2 seasons. That is popped up right side of the infield. Amani Jones calls off Logan Brown. He'll make the catch for out number 3. So the error doesn't mean anything for the Otters as Washington doesn't put a run across. Time to stretch here at Bossy Field. Otters up 10-3.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back, and we'll root for the Otters. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Nicely done. Let's get some runs. Happy 4th of July weekend.
Seventh inning is brought to you by Jacob's Pub. Jacob's Pub is proud to support the Evansville Otters in the Jacobsville neighborhood. Be sure to check out First Fridays at 607 North Main Street.
Heroes behind the plate. Pitcher catcher batteries powered by the Answer Auto Repair.
We have a new pitcher into the game. Mac Anglin struck out the side. Thought Washington would keep him in for another inning, but no, it's Chad Coles who's into the game for the Wild Things. We have not seen Coles yet in this series. His first time pitching since the 27th against Joliet, in which he threw 1 1/3 scoreless innings. Currently at an ERA just under 5 at 4.96, 16 1/3 innings. He's given up 19 hits, 9 earned runs, 12 walks, 22 strikeouts. Mark Black leads it off. Salvaggio behind him, and then Lynn Scott at the top of the order for the 5th time. First pitch popped up right side of the infield, moving into the grass in shallow right, moving into fair territory, and making the catch is Rosengard for out number 1.
The shortstop, number 19, DJ Salvaggio.
Salvaggio up for his 4th at-bat. He's 1 for 3, singled in the 5th, came around to score. Otherwise, 2 flyouts to LaCorey in right field. First pitch from Coles is called a strike. Well, Chad Coles is 27 years old. He's from North Huntingdon, Pennsylvania. Same town as Tommy Shirley. Tommy Shirley still on the IL. There's another base hit for Salvaggio. He's got 2 of them. He's 2 for 4. Gets a single here in the 7th. Coles has a fastball 92 to 94, splitter, and a slider slash curveball, as well as a changeup. So technical 4-pitch mix, slider slash curveball. That's technically just 1 pitch. So 4-pitch mix for him. Coles, in his 2nd season with Washington, was there last season. First pitch is called a strike to Linscott at the top of the order. He's 2 for 4. Couple singles, couple flyouts as well. Coles did pitch in the first series in early May against the Otters. Pitched 1 game in the 13th, one of the games in that doubleheader. So that'll miss a little low. It's 1-1. 2/3 of an inning, gave up 5 hits, 2 earned runs. So far, he has 7 scoreless outings, has not given up more than 2 earned runs in a game this season. Hasn't given up an earned run since the 23rd against Windy City. 1-1 is high, and it's 2-1. 93 on that one. Washington last season, 2.19 ERA, 37 innings for Coles. He threw 9 of those innings against Evansville, gave up 3 earned, 4 walks, 9 strikeouts, sorry. Including a season-high 3 earned runs against the Otters. Grounder to short, throw to second for 1, on to first for 2. And that concludes a 1-2-3 7th for Coles. 6-4-3 double play gets him out of it as we will enter the 8th. David Eckes into the game. Otters up 10-3 on the Otters Digital Network.
The following is a sumo match scheduled for 1 fall. Brought to you by Roberts by the River. As they make their entrances first in the blue. We've got Matt. In the red, we have Elijah. The first one to knock the other one over is your winner. 1 and done. No, stay in bounds here. This way. This way. This way, guys. Over here. Get off the field. Hello. All right, let's go. Oh, nice hit, Glenn. All right, Elijah is your winner. Sumo is brought to you by Roberts by the River. Save the flavors of the South and Roberts by the River, Evansville. Don't miss out on the Friday fish fries. Featuring all you can crispy fish, hush puppies, fries, and coleslaw for only $18. Visit 76 Walnut Street or online at robertsbytheriver.com. Southern Comfort Surfers. Tonight's nonprofit partner is the VFW Post 1114. Please join us in thanking the members of the VFW Post for their continued service to our veterans community and our country. We are proud to recognize their commitment and dedication. Fans, stick around after tonight's game. Our fireworks show sponsored by the VFW Post 1114 right here at EVSC's historic Bossy Field. Leading off.
Top of the 8th inning. 8th inning brought to you by McMahon Exterminating. Remember, who can help with all of your pest control needs? McMahon can. We have a new pitcher into the game. David Eckes is in for the Otters. He has a 6.27 ERA, 18 2/3 innings. And his ERA was under 3, but he ended up having a very rough outing on Tuesday against the Wild Things. 1 2/3 innings. Gave up 6 hits, 6 earned runs, 2 strikeouts, including a home run as well. It basically doubled his ERA, considering the fact that he has not really pitched too many innings to where it would be a little detrimental with one of those outings to have the ERA pretty much spike still, even in July. Before that, he was pitching very well. Had only given up 1 earned run in June before that one. His last outing in June ended up being a bit of a rough one. Now here to try and come back, and he starts check swing over as it's a no-go. Makes it 2-2 here against the leadoff man, Andrew Check. It's Check, Brocado, LaCorey. It's 3 lefties in the first 4 hitters that Eckes will face, why they brought him in here for the bulk of the order as well. 3-2 is... Oh, sorry, 2-2 is high for ball 3. Apologies. Check so far is 0 for 3. Struck out in his last at-bat. Payoff pitch is fouled away. Eckes was at FIU for all of his collegiate career. Was actually teammates with Jeff LaCorey, who's batting 3rd in this inning. So we'll see a couple of college teammates facing off here, like we saw with Morrissey and Jeff Sabater in yesterday's game. That one's fouled away yet again. Another long at bat here for Andrew Check.
Choose the best and never regret.
Got a couple finals so far in the Frontier League. A quick game as Lake Erie beat Joliet 3-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Eckes gets Check swinging for out number 1.
That's a German-American-based strikeouts.
That is now 9 Ks for Otters pitching today.
Left fielder, 34, Anthony Brocado.
This is an Otters pitching staff that, while has a very good ERA, 5th in the league, does not strike too many guys out. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-1 to Brocado. The Otters coming into this game have 342 strikeouts, which is 14th out of 18 teams in the Frontier League. But today they have 9, so pretty good in terms of the pitching. Little loan away, it's 1-1. So maybe warming in the bullpen for Washington, looking like they'll get the bottom of the 8th. There is a pop-up left side of the infield, right to Salvaggio, who will make the catch for out number 2. And this is the David Eckes we have known to perform all season, getting a quick first 2 outs here in the top of the 8th.
6, Jeff LaCorey.
See who's warming up in that bullpen for Washington. Michael O'Hanlon is the man warming. Have not seen O'Hanlon yet in this series. Is he the last guy we have not seen out of the bullpen? I don't think so. I don't think we have not seen Jack Brodsky. There he is right there. I think Brodsky and Xander Sechrist are the only guys we haven't seen. Sechrist might have to find his way back into the rotation after the couple of contract purchases of Maddox Long and Zach Kirby. He was a starter to start the season, ended up getting pushed back to the bullpen. Might have to come back as a starter just because of the pitching depth. Being a little pummeled for Washington. So here it is. 2 college teammates facing off here. Both of these guys, LaCorey and Eckes, were on Florida International in 2024. Fouled back. It's 2-2. LaCorey, his only season with Florida International was in 2024. He was with Florida Southern before that. And Eckes was with Florida International for all of his 4 years, 2022 to 2025. LaCorey ended up hitting .296 in 57 games. Second on the team in RBIs at 47. There's more fireworks going off before we even get the fireworks show going. Grounder to second. David Eckes wins the battle between him and his college teammate, as he's the first guy to get LaCorey out today. 1-2-3 frame. David Eckes, a very nice scoreless frame. We will head to the bottom of the 8th. 10-3 Otts on the Otters Digital Network.
Brought to you by A's and Pizza. New month, new pizza of the month. Shell, yeah. Lobster roll, like pizza. Gotta look up to see what's on it. That's all you get. Over there on the right, first base game, we have FJ Wright versus William Henry Harrison versus Benjamin Mossy. Mossy's on a winning streak. Let's see if either other legend can stop it. Place your bets. Legends, are you ready? Set, go! Uh-oh. Harrison is winning. Oh! He lost his head. Now we've got Wrights in the lead. Oh, Mossy, Wrights. Oh! Your winner, Benjamin Mossy. There's no rules here, so that counts. Nice try. Is there a medic in the house? Where's Doc Martin at? He might be able to help. Hopefully they sign a waiver, and we hope just a scratch or a bruise and nothing more serious.
Well, we had a little bit of a spill in the in-between inning entertainment. We had a race going on, and I think somebody ran into the tarp, possibly? I'm not too sure. But they were able to get everybody off the field safely. Either way, it's the bottom of the eighth, and the new pitcher, and hopefully the last pitcher Washington has for today, is Michael O'Hanlon. Michael O'Hanlon is at a 6.86 ERA in 21 innings for Washington this season. This is now his 6th outing with Washington on the year after starting the year off with the Ottawa Titans, pitching 7 games with them and then getting traded to Washington to complete a separate trade on June the 5th. Only gave up 3 earned runs in 7 outings with Ottawa before getting traded. Since then, though, he's given up 9. Including 3 in his last outing on the 28th against Joliet. Inning in a third, 3 earned runs, 5 walks. So the walks might be an issue here for O'Hanlon, as that will miss for ball 1. Monty Jones, Dennis Pierce, and Logan Brown leading off here in the bottom of the 8th. 5th arm used by Washington today. So that'll miss outside.
This is the McMahon Exterminating 8th inning. Remember who can help with all your pest control needs? McMahon can.
O'Hanlon, 24 years old. He's from Queens, New York. Wonder if he's a Knicks fan. See if maybe he's a little bit happy at how the Knicks performed this season. Yeah, just a little. Just a little. Missed the entirety of 2025, O'Hanlon did, after having shoulder surgery. A bit of a tongue twister there. O'Hanlon will step off. Shoulder surgery. Didn't play baseball in 2025. But that was after a career at Hofstra from 2021 to 24. In which his last season he had a 5.85 ERA and 92 1/3 innings. There's a fly ball into left field. It'll drop foul. And it's 2-2. Take a look at the Otters' retired jersey numbers. We're going to have to update that one with Dakota Phillips. Remember when Dakota Phillips got his number retired? Because it was a pretty long time ago. It was back on May 9th against the Florence Yalls. Got his number retired, the 3rd person in the Otters franchise history to get his jersey retired. The first guy with a number not including a 4 to get his number retired, because John Schultz was number 4 and Greg Jelks was number 44. 3-2 swung on and missed for strike 3, and Amani Jones strikes out swinging to start the 8th. That's now 7 strikeouts for Washington pitching. Dennis Pierce now up.
Designated hitter number 10, Dennis Pierce.
Logan Brown has a towel in the on-deck circle. Not too sure what that's about. First pitch is a little high. I guess I'm just to rub off some sweat that is going to help him with gripping the bat. We'll have a mound visit here. Take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard one last time. Yeah. Down East is shutting out New Jersey 7-0 in the 8th inning. Florence is up 10-7 on Windy City. That 6-run third, they have not scored a single run since then. 4-3, Schaumburg is up on Quebec in the 8th. Gateway beat Mississippi 5-4. Sussex had a 2-run 7th, ended up just beating New York 9-8. And Troyes scored 10, beat Brockton 10-2. Tri-City scored 5 in the last 2 frames and beat Ottawa 7-5. So a couple of comeback victories. Lake Erie beat Joliet 3-2. It was a pretty low-scoring one there. I feel like the Frontier League this year, we haven't seen too many low-scoring affairs. So pretty rare when you see like a 3-2 or a, I don't know, 2-0, something like that. I mean, heck, the Otters have only been shut out once this season, and that was in a 7-inning game. 2-1 to Pierce. Foul tip off the mask of Quiros. Now, Quiros has been taking a beating this series. He got hit in the head with that pitch from Dawil Almonte and then gets that foul tip into the mask. He's going to get a second to hopefully just gather his bearings. The best season in college for O'Hanlon was in 2023 at a 3.62 ERA, 27 in a third innings against the other squads that Hofstra played. He had a team-high 19 appearances, 4th in strikeouts on the team coming out of the bullpen. The 2024 was his only year as a starter. 3-2, another foul tip off the mask. Hofstra is in Hempstead, New York, on Long Island. So close to where he's from in Queens. He's given up 7 earned runs in his last 2 outings. One was 3 innings against Windy City, and then one was 1 1/3 against Joliet. 2-2 is a little outside. Makes it ball 3. Full count here to Pierce with Logan Brown on deck. Pierce 2 for 4. Logan Brown also 2 for 4, but Pierce has that 2-run homer. All the way back in the 4th. Payoff. Grounder foul yet again. Pierce checking if that bat broke. Kind of made a sound like it broke, but Pierce is going to continue to use it. Nobody warming in the bullpen for the Otters, so David Eckes most likely getting the 9th. Still saving Serta for a rainy day. I haven't seen too much of Serta. I feel like every game that we've played the past week has just been really lopsided. That will miss in the dirt for ball 4, and Dennis Pierce reaches for the 3rd time today. As that's the first walk issued by Washington today. Washington, by far, the least amount of walks given up, as Quiros is in some more pain. I think those couple of foul balls coming off the mask kind of rattled him. And so we'll see if he stays in the game here. Tom Vaith over there to help him out a little bit. Trainer's coming in as well. Let's take a look at this last pitch. It was their foul tip right into the mask. I think that was the first one of the 2. And that one really hit him square in the head. Seems to be okay, though. He's going to stay into the game as Logan Brown comes in. I think the towel was definitely to clear the sweat off because he was rubbing his hands on his pants to make sure he gets grip. That's sort of a downside with the no batting gloves, is that you kind of just have to do that rather than with the batting gloves already having that grip. But if Logan Brown's going to go 2 for 4 and hit over 365 with no batting gloves, you got to stick with the no batting gloves. I feel like that's law. 1-0 pitch. Very high. It's 2-0. Logan Brown 2 for 4. Struck out in the first, then hit an RBI double in the third. Singled in the fourth, came around to score both of those times, and then flew out to center. That's a base hit into right center field. Heading first to third is Pierce. He'll get there easily. And Logan Brown has another 3-hit day. Already 17 multi-hit games, but now 5 3-hit games this season. As his average is going to go above 370 after this game. It's already at 362 coming into today. Marcos Gonzalez a chance to extend the lead here for the Otters. Otters, when leading after 8 innings so far this season, a perfect 22-0. They have not given up a single ninth inning comeback at all this season, and it's not looking likely here, up 7. Especially if Gonzalez is able to get a run or two across. Still a triple shy of the cycle. Oh, 1. Little outside. Gonzalez 3 for 4. Singled in the second, doubled in the third, homered in the fourth. He's driven in 4 runs already today. Called a strike, it's 1-2. Gonzalez already has the most RBIs in a game this season by the Otters, which was 5 back on Sunday. Now, chance to tie that, maybe even get 6 RBIs, extra base hit, maybe 7 with a homer. You never know. Swung on and missed, strike 3. So 2 strikeouts for the first 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th for O'Hanlon, and that will bring up LG Castillo with 2 on. Runners at the corners and now 2 outs. Pierce at third, Logan Brown at first. Castillo is 1 for 4 today. Has a base hit back in the third, but has struck out in his last 2 plate appearances. Little low, it's 1-0. 8 strikeouts now for Washington pitching, 9 for Otters pitching. Relatively close. 1-0. That is called a strike. Higher half of the zone. It's 1-1. Eck is going to get the 9th. Otters, if this score holds, moves to 19-7 at home. 12 games over 500 yet again at 29-17 and another series win. There's a fly ball into center field. A lot of cheers, but that's right at Edwards for out number 3. So the Otters are 3 outs away from taking the series against Washington as we hit the 9th, 10-3 on the Otters Digital Network.
Hickory Pit Stop has the best pulled pork. I promise you, right across Oregon, the border of Oregon and Maine. Tough game, but I say just great. So here on the left, we have Victoria, Valerie, Remy, and Elijah. On the right, Riley, Brain, Xavier, Isaiah. It's a good old-fashioned game of tug of war. They're going to be tugging, and there's a little green piece of tape over there that they have to pull past the line on the coast this box. Whichever team does so wins some tickets. I guess the cheating going on. All right, you guys ready? Set. Team on the right is inching. Also close. Oh my, this is the closest one so far. We got 10 seconds. Oh, that's a comeback. Can they make it? 3, 2, 1. Oh my God, everyone, it's a tie. We got a tie. Everybody wins. Let's hear it. Come on, guys. Ties are un-American, Josh. I know. Just like hockey.
Well, we got more hacky sacking going on in the bullpen.
19, Cole Fowler.
Feel like every time we get back to it, they always just stop and go back to the bullpen. Unfortunately, either way, it's the top of the ninth. Otters are still up by 7. What is the Bossy Faithful singing below me? I'm not too sure. Either way, it is Fowler, Edwards, and Kiros, the bottom 3 in the order, leading off in the top of the ninth against Ekis, who threw a 1-2-3, top of the 8th. Facing off against a lefty and 2 righties here. Otters 1 run in the second, 4 in the third, 4 in the fourth, and now 1 in the 5th, and that's all they've needed. They've been scoreless the past 3 innings, but 10 runs, really all they've needed. Still have a comfortable lead as Washington manages, after scoring 23 runs in the first game of this series, have scored 7 in the other 2 combined. Grounder up the middle. It's off the glove of Salvaggio and into center field for a base hit. So Cole Fowler leads off the inning with a single.
Julian, our big hero of the day. Give him one of those props. Center fielder for Kyle Edwards.
So Kyle Edwards coming up now with a runner on first and nobody out. Cole Fowler 7 for 11 on stolen bases this season. Might just come up and go to second on the defensive indifference. I haven't seen it at all, though, this year. Maybe it doesn't exist in the Frontier League. I don't know. 1-0 here to Fowler. Swing and a miss. Sorry, this is Edwards. Edwards is 1 for 3. His RBI single in the 5th brought in the first run of the day for Washington. Otherwise, 2 strikeouts. 1-1 swung on and missed for strike 2. Washington, after this game, will head straight to Schaumburg. That's about a 5-6 hour drive, so a little bit of an overnighter and not a necessarily good feeling overnighter after dropping the last 2 games of this series, if this score holds, as that's inside for ball 2. Here's Schaumburg and Florence, the 9-game roadie for Washington. Otters head to Joliet tomorrow. 3 against the Slammers, then 3 against the Grizzlies after an off-day Monday. High fly ball into center field. Lynn Scott is under it, and he'll make the catch for out number 1. Now the Otters, after winning the series against Florence over the weekend, now at a 10-10 on the road this year at 500. Washington, with this loss, if the score holds, will be now 9-9 against the Central Division and 11-9 at home or on the road. Washington does have the most home wins. Whoa, I'm not speaking right. They do have the most home wins in the Frontier League, but they've also played the most home games in the Frontier League, which is at 28. This is home game number 26 for the Otters. 1-1 to Kiros. Called a strike, and it's 1-2. Kiros 0 for 3, 2 Ks, and a grounder to third. Eckes, after giving up the leadoff single, just trying to keep it at a 10-3 game, finish off this one. There's another fly ball into center field. Another one for Lynn Scott, pretty much in the same place as he'll make the catch. And Washington is down to their final out here in the ninth.
Back to the top of the order. First base
All coming down to Ben Rosengard.
Benjamin Rosengard.
Perfect lefty-on-lefty situation here for Eckes, as Rosengard has a man on first and 2 outs. Fowler led off with a single, but so far 2 flyouts have not allowed him to advance. First pitch a little outside, 93 from Eckes. Gonna go 2 scoreless here out of the pen. Finishing off a very good game for the Otters. Swung on and missed, and it's strike 1. Rosengard is 0 for 4. A couple ground outs, a fly out to center, a strikeout to lead off the game in the first. 1-1. Little low and away. It's ball 2. Next time these two teams play against each other is not until early August, August 7th. We play 2 series at Washington in August, 7th through the 9th, and the 18th through the 20th, as now the Wild Things down to their final strike. Eckes. No one even covering over at first base. 2-2. Little outside, it's ball 3. Be their 10th series win of the season. As calling his timeout is Rosengard. 7th series at home. Fouled away. Runner getting a head start over at first in Fowler. Otters 10 runs on 16 hits. Have only managed in the last 3 innings 2 hits of those 16, but the 10-run outbursts in the middle innings have really carried the load here. Another 3-2. It's called strike 3. And the Otters win. Strikeout number 10 for Otters pitching. And the Otters win the series as Rosengard got tossed after the game ended. So Tom Vaith is now having a conversation with the umpires. Rosengard said a little too much to the home plate umpire, Rudy Boskin, after that strike 3 call, and he got tossed from the game. So now Tom Vaith is irate at the umpires right now. We have a little bit of drama here after the game. Vaith is enraged right now, and he has to follow the umpires out of the stadium because their clubhouse is on the same side as Washington. So a very interesting ending to that one, but the Otters win. Hey, the Otters won. That's 29 wins on the year. They're 29-17 as they take the series against Washington, even up the season series at 3 games apiece, and they win their 10th series overall, 7th here at home. And they are now 8-1 on Thursday. A very good ending to a nice little 3-game homestand. As after the Florence series in which they won on the road, they win here at home, and then they're back on the road again. Joliet tomorrow. Take a look at some of the things that happened in this one as we take a look at the highlights. The Otters came striking, and they came striking very quickly with 1 in the second, then 4 in the third, 4 in the fourth. Ended up taking a 9-0 lead and taking Britt Kostura out of the game. He ended up giving up 9 earned runs, 13 hits in 3 2/3 innings. And the bullpen did pretty good for Washington, but it was Kostura's start and the 4 runs he gave up in the third and the fourth. That was the difference in that one. Petchke ended up getting the win. He had 5 1/3 innings, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. And Alex Valdez and David Eckes both threw an inning and 2/3 scoreless to finish the job. And we have a player of the game interview on the field, Marcos Gonzalez, and deservedly so. He drove in 4 runs, and even though he struck out in his last 2 at-bats, he still managed to go 3 for 5, 4 ribbies, couple of extra base hits, and he performed very good here in the third game of this series. So 3 runs, 8 hits, no errors for Washington. 10 runs, 18 hits, 1 error for Evansville, and they win game at number 29. And all of a sudden, the Otts are back and hot yet again. 1 game back of Washington in the division. They have a chance to tie the division lead tomorrow as Washington plays Schaumburg. Evansville plays Joliet. We'll see you tomorrow at 6:35, same time, but at Slammer Stadium. For everybody here with the Evansville Otters, I'm Evan Potoko. We will see you tomorrow in Chicagoland for game 1 of 3 between the Slammers and the Otters.